almost one.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Purple Lotus Flower. We are live in the building. I got my babies in the building with me today. I got my son Jay, I got Khadijah, and I also have Ken. These are my son's friends. I have adopted them. Today we're going to pretty much talk about their generation as far as self-accountability, healing. If you guys get an opportunity to, if you have young kids that's probably between maybe 15, 21, somewhere that age, this would be a good episode for you guys to watch. Get some education from your younger generation. You know, our kids, they become our teachers after a while. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting with my son, and they can go around and talk. Right now, we're also, if you want to see all of them, you can actually go to my YouTube as well, because I'm live on there as well. So I'm actually just on here on my own. So if you want to see all of them, you can go on there and watch too. So go ahead, Mr. Jalen. My son's going to introduce himself.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jalen. I go by Jay. Sometimes Ambrose. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Ambrose J. That's AMBROSE JAEE. I'm excited to be here. I would thank y'all for having me. Thank you for inviting me, Purple Lotus. KD.
Oh, okay. Hello, my beautiful kings, queens, and rarities. My name is Khadijah. What am I all supposed to say? To just introduce myself. Okay, hello. Yeah, my name is Khadijah. And the Instagram. Okay, my Instagram
She's so funny.
is Kadi's TED Talk. It's KHA is in apple, D is in dog. I-S TED Talk on
She's
every
trying to be all
platform.
that sexy today. Okay?
Yes, I'm very calm right now, so this is very much so Duchess energy, so we just embodying it.
And how old are you? Also, Khadijah, tell them how old you are.
I'm 19.
And of course, my son.
Big 2-1.
All right, and that's Ken down there. Y'all can kind of see him a little bit down there in the cut.
What's going on, family? Peace to the gods. I go by Ken. You can call me Spiritual K. I'm 19 as well. And shout out to Purple Lotus, man. It's been a pleasure having us on here. Let's get it.
Very grateful to be on here.
Hey. All right, so we're pretty much gonna I'm gonna start out with asking my son, since he's right here first. Asking him, what does self-accountability look like to him at the age he's at right now? Like, what does that look for you?
Okay. So my fault. So accountability to me is realizing what you're doing. For example, it could be good things or bad things. Being able to recognize that you played the part, like you played this role. And not only that, you take a lesson from whatever role you played and you apply it. Like, that's the finishing act to accountability. So the first step is realizing, like, yeah, this was all me. This is my fault. Whether it be good or bad, like I did this type thing. Take that lesson, and then the last part to accountability, I feel like it's supposed to be in applying it to the rest of your life in however which way that you can.
Now, when you realize that, like when you finally kind of knew what self-accountability was, like what did it take for you to get there? Like, was it something you had to go back into your childhood? Did you have to go back and do a little bit of work on yourself to actually figure it out and say, I got exposed to a lot of things, me being one of them, exposing you to some things as your mother, and also with your father, being exposed to him actually going to jail and being away from you for a while? Like, did that play a big part in you going back, you know what I'm saying, figuring out some things?
Yeah, so actually the first time that I actually took accountability was with Pops. After he went away, I was really, really mad. I was like, I was mad at him, I was mad at you, I was just mad at everybody. I was mad at the world because he was gone. So that, my anger, instead of me, getting it under control, I just didn't make the effort to try to call or nothing like that, 'cause I was just so mad. And then I became more upset when I realized he wasn't calling me either. He wasn't trying to call me either. But then I realized, I was like, it started with me, because I could have made that connection and called him.
Yeah.
For him to be able to call me. So when he came back home, I talked to him. I was like, Pops, how come you never called me? And he was like, well, I did try. He tried. And then, because I kept hearing people telling me that he was trying to talk to me, but I was still mad that I didn't take the effort. And it took me some time to realize that. But when I first did, I was like, yeah, so that was my fault. But now I know, like, if I really want to talk to somebody, it has to be both ways. I have to make that same effort that my pops was trying to make.
There you go.
So that was my first time taking accountability.
So
Well, that was my first time, but that was the first time that I like actually recognized it for real.
Okay. As you see, you repeated the same thing that your mom repeated as far as with my father. I was upset. I was angry at my dad. Also hearing things that was going on as far as in the family about my father. It was negative things going on about him. And instead of me taking that time to actually call him on my own and have that conversation, I didn't do that. You know, so I became resentful against him, you know, not even knowing that I had to have that conversation with him to understand where he was coming from. My father was also dealing with things in his childhood. He was dealing with situations too. So how was he going to properly be able to even, you know, have that conversation with me at that time? So my son kind of repeated the same thing. And this is why it's important for you to break the cycle with your kids and change things, because when you don't, it's like they repeat the same thing that you're repeating and you don't even realize it. So Miss Khadijah.
Yes.
What does self-accountability look like to you, babe?
Considering how much I've gone through it over the year, I would say looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, like, you were wrong, you know. So for me, as far as, like, self-accountability, is just kind of being aware of the fact that, like, you know, we all know that saying, you know, imagine yourself in somebody else's pair of shoes. We don't always really apply that sometimes. So within saying that, it's just like when it comes to me being a person that's just like, okay, yes, I know something I might have said might not hurt me, but I'm not that person. Everybody's feelings and all how we feel is completely different. So accountability is just me imagining myself in their shoes and saying, like, okay, imagine how it would feel if you did that to them, and then it made them feel a certain way. Just how certain things that you do or certain things that other people do make you feel a certain way. It might not hurt you, but it might not hurt them, but it's going to hurt you. So being aware, as well as being in tune with the fact that sometimes you don't have the same feelings as everybody. Everybody feels different about something because we all love in different ways and we all hate in different ways. So just being aware and telling yourself, you know, sometimes you're going to be wrong, and it's okay to be wrong, because if you're not wrong sometimes, how are you going to learn?
Yeah.
So that's my definition of self-accountability.
And did that stream back from childhood for you as well?
As far as, like, which part?
Like watching things that your parents either went through, because, you know, your parents influence a lot of stuff, you know, your environment. And it's not really on purpose. It's like we can't even go back and blame them. You get what I'm saying? And this is a conversation that we actually had last night on a phone call. My cousin, we have a group or whatever. We read books and stuff every either Friday or Sunday, and we're reading a Kabbalion. We're reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and it's just teaching you that subconscious mind is very powerful. But going all the way back, he took us. We started at our present age, and we went all the way back to like 10 years old, and just the cycle of things that was happening and the choices and stuff that was being made right by you. And we really kind of focused on you. So when I went all the way back, it was like the environment was there, but at the end of the day, I still had that choice. You get what I'm saying? So that first time something happens, we're a victim that first time.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But when that second time come, we still comfortable with making that same decision again, because that's normal to us. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just like in our household, in our community, a lot of parents get divorced. Yeah. A lot of kids are separated from from their father and all kind of stuff. It's a repeated situation, but then we do it again because it seems normal, because we saw that growing up with our grandparents, with our mothers, and this and that and the other. So we repeat that same thing, right? So that choice that we do make, that one you see, why don't we never go the other way? We always keep going to the way that's normal because it feels good.
And it's our comfort zone.
And then that comes from you also not knowing who you are. So you don't know who you are. You following everybody. It's like, no, this is the way we're supposed to go. We always think our parents are right. Just like me, I know I was not right doing a lot of things. But one thing I'm saying about this one, he always went his own way anyway. He always was like, He just went, you know, he did a lot of opposite things for me, which I'm happy about. But, so you seeing that and you go back to that and the choices that you've made and you say, okay, I'm taking self accountability for this choice and that choice that it come from that, from you looking back on those patterns.
Sort of. I remember the first question you were asking is like childhood involved.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like, for me, I typically have to take accountability for what I say. Mm-hmm. So because yeah, for what I say. So because of that, I think stemming from childhood and everything, I really didn't have too many people who apologized for hurting someone else's feelings. It was like, you know, if you hurt my feelings, okay, you hurt my feelings, and then it were not even just that. I didn't hurt your feelings. You too sensitive, or you're this and you're this. So the defense mechanism, like typically, yeah. So as far as accountability, yeah, it's like it's interesting now because it's like, oh, I have to be considerate of how other people feel. Okay, let's try that, you know. So,
wow, that's interesting, but very, very true. We all definitely get those defense mechanisms that come up, you know, and that's just a way of you of like covering it up anyway. Mm-hmm. You not want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. So the fear of being scared to address it with your parents or whoever,
right,
that come from you feeling like you're going to get judged if you say something.
It's so true. Mm-hmm. That's so true.
So a lot of our community, that's the problem. We're like, oh, somebody's going to judge me, or, you know, and it's, no, you can't care what nobody's going to say. Mm-hmm. You got to speak your mind.
Mm-hmm. Living your truth.
Ken.
Peace to the God.
Peace to the God.
We got Ken.
So,
what does it look like for you?
So for me, it's just being aware that there is a problem, right? And then knowing that it's a solution to the problem. I like to reflect back on my childhood because I had two different type of parenting styles that from my mother's side and father's side. My mother always say, I always try to justify stuff. So even if I do something like in my mind, I'm right because I can literally justify because the reason why I did this is because of this. And she said, "Don't stop justifying yourself." I never understood what does that actually mean until I became aware of taking myself out of the situation and like if this was done to me, how exactly would I feel in this situation? And I'm like, nah, I ain't like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. What do I do about that? So like the sister was saying, just being considerate of this happened. So let me take myself out of my perspective and see how this can be looked at from a different angle. And that's when I started to become accountable and I started to watch the stuff I say, the stuff I do. And if I do something that may be not to the best of, not so righteous as we would say, I would send an apology. Like, hey, listen, I totally understand how you feel. If I was in that situation, I feel the same way. But what I realized is I was looking at it from this angle, you was looking at it from this angle. So what we're going to do is X, Y, and Z. So now we got problem, we got solution. We can't just have problems without solutions because that'd be just complaining, you know. So just taking accountability for that. That's what it looks like to me.
Okay. So when you said it was two different parenting styles, like what was it with your dad?
Man, so this man like he can do something and he like it's his way or the highway. Like what I did was right because of this, and I took that on. Like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Like, so it's kind of like I'm just on top of the world. Like, I'm doing everything right. But then my mom like, nah, like you ain't doing it. That ain't right because of this. And this just reflect back to when I was a child, like, and I was in school, and I used to act up in school, and my mom was like always on the teacher side. My dad was on my side. So whenever I got in school, whenever I got in trouble in school, I'm calling my dad like, "Hey, pops, man, the teacher tripping, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop." I'm like, but then my mama would find out, and she was like, "Well, you was wrong because you did that." Because she know me for real. I grew up in the house with my mom, so she know how I act for real. My dad just kind of know how I act a little bit. You feel me? So it's a different perspective when you around somebody all the time. Yeah. And she just say always don't justify yourself. But my father, on the other hand, he was pretty much like, this is my way, and if you don't like it, he's a Jalen. He's a Leo.
All right, let's relax.
So you know, he kind of like real strong-headed.
Because let me ask you a question. I actually noticed something like what you off of, based
If
on
you
what you
guys
just said.
cannot really hear them, I am on my YouTube, also live on there, and you'll be able to hear it a little bit clearer, just in case you cannot hear it on this one, because I am kind of running 2 lives at the same time.
But yeah, I noticed how you said your pops was the one who was a justifier, and your mom was like, stop doing it. So basically, your mom is the one who brought you. She kind of brought you into the self accountability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just actually actively listening to what she's saying and why she's saying it. And then I started to become like, it's like maybe about like a year ago, it snapped like, man, like that was wrong right there. Like that was not right. Like that wasn't justifiable right there. And that's when I understood like I was making excuses instead of actually making stuff that it wasn't making sense. It was an excuse of why I did it. So the stuff that I was saying became an excuse. Like, why you do that? Oh, because of this. Like I'm so quick on my feet that I was instead of throwing out solutions, I was throwing out like excuses. That's what I was throwing out.
Wow.
And that's one of my tactics. Like if like with anything, I'm real quick on my feet with comebacks, with jokes, all that stuff. So I was just directing it in the wrong way, and I'm glad I took accountability for myself and my actions at this age, so now I can pass that down. So like you was saying, them curses ain't even, I mean, it stops here. It stops right now. Like,
yeah. And
that's what it really means to me, because the curses is stopping with us. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Right now, because we taking accountability. So the stuff that was passed on before, it now ends, and then we can start a new cycle of healing, growing, accountability, etc., etc.
Okay. I'm proud of them, y'all, because you know what? They will be having their own. Actually, they do. They already have a YouTube station. What is it called?
No, we don't.
Oh, y'all don't.
We
Y'all
don't
ready?
have a YouTube channel. Yeah, we starting.
We do. It's in the
Okay.
It's in the manifest.
It's in the making.
Look, it's in the making.
And it's 4:44. So
it's in the
it's there.
So at least y'all can get a little taste of them. They young, and that's the part that it's important to stop it while you can. Like now with my son being 21, it's like me and him is getting the opportunity to heal together. So that was like a huge deal for me. I know things that I did put him through as a child, things that his dad also put him through. Yeah, and he told me. He tells me. I love the fact that he can speak to me and tell me, Mom, that wasn't right. Mom, you did this, you did that. Because sometimes as parents, we on survival mode a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And we don't be there emotionally, mentally, and it's a lot of that I missed a lot of stuff with him, and I didn't realize it until after we had the conversation as he's older now.
I like that.
So and he's open. He can come to me and tell me anything. I don't take it no type of way. I have to actually process it sometimes because he say things and I have to process it, let it go, release it, and I have to also forgive myself as well for exposing him to things that was not necessary. So when I had a talk with my mother, she kind of had that thing too where she was trying to justify a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that I was trying to blame her. I just wanted to make her aware of this is the reason why I went through this way, or this is how I ended up this way. I just wanted her to understand that and know that it did stem from my childhood and things that, my dad not being there and then her working a lot of times. I also did the same thing to my son. So it got passed down. Whereas I was working all the time, going to school, trying to get degrees and all of that, but I wasn't there for him. So I thought making sure he had somewhere to stay, food in the refrigerator, clothes on his back, he was going to be okay. And that's the same thing my mom and my dad did for me. It was like clothes, shoes, boom. We ain't going to no games. I played a lot of sports, so they was missing it, and I was doing the same thing with him. So I just want you guys to be aware of the things that we putting our kids through. You don't even realize it's a repeated cycle until after you go through it. Here I am, I'm 38 years old now, but the last few years with me knowing the cycles and stuff that I did go through, I go back and I say it was just repeated and repeated and repeated because it was normal to me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know who I was. I didn't love myself enough. I didn't even know how to love myself. I was just out here and I wasn't healing. I wasn't releasing things or letting things go. And you have to let things go. Definitely your past, so you don't make decisions based on your past. Because when you do that, you miss out on a whole lot of blessings too.
And that's beautiful. I like that. I just like the whole relationship, honestly.
I love y'all relationship so much. Truth be told, I remember I came into the house. I came into the house one day and like I heard grandma and she started asking me questions. Grandma is your mom. I just call her grandma. But but I remember she started asking me like, you know, did this come from your childhood? And I was like, oh crap, y'all family talk about healing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
weird. You know, because it's like typically a lot of families do not talk about healing. This is not a conversation where people are like, yeah, I made that mistake. So the fact that like I see y'all talk and have those uncomfortable conversations,
No, cause like not to cut your wisdom, but what was that, like a week ago or something?
No, it was like 4 days ago.
Man, listen, days been running together, but about 4 days ago we had a conversation for like 3 hours. But when it's the three of us, our conversations usually run from like 1 to 3, 4 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they be long.
When we talk, I'm talking about talk.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Effectively
That is so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I like that.
Because
It took a while though.
Yeah, it took a minute.
It didn't. When I first got here, it was kind of like nobody was talking to each other.
that's how my family kind of is now.
But
So
we eventually grew comfortable with
How?
comfortable with the uncomfortable.
How?
Yeah.
Could y'all give us some tips, or anybody that's listening, some tips on how to effectively communicate with the people that's around you?
You got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
practice makes not
Keep
practice.
doing
You
it.
have to keep doing it because
Yeah.
the first time that I actually like had a conversation with my grandma and it was about accountability. It was, mind you, my grandma has never done anything to me. She's never caused me any trauma or nothing like that. Like, I've never been really affected by her in a negative way because that one time she told me, I forgot what grandma said. Grandma said something to me and I never messed up again. So I never really had any problems with the grandma. But this past year, this was April. That's for my first fashion show. Y'all was there. But it had something to do with the car. So my car was parked on a certain street or whatever. Mind you, I'm not from Detroit, so I don't know none of these streets. So I called mom because mama knew where my car was. So, but grandma had picked up the phone, so I'm telling grandma, I'm like, hey, can you pass the phone to mama so I can find out where my car parked? So grandma keep yelling at me the street that is. So I'm like, grandma, I don't know where that's at. She's like, ask somebody. I'm like, grandma, this is my generation. We don't really know streets either.
No,
like,
we do not. No, so truth be told that you said, our generation is terrible with directions.
Yeah, we don't really know streets either. So I'm like, can you just pass the phone to mama? So I was like, you know what, never mind. I'll just go find the car, grandma. So I'm extremely upset because one, the entire fashion show got missed. My grandma missed it and mama missed it. Like,
Yeah.
I just was really upset. I was already mad because my family had missed it or whatever. This was my first fashion show too. So the next day or whatever, I go in the room with grandma. Mama coming there too. This was actually our first time. I think this was like our first actual accountability conversation. This is where it started at. So I told grandma, I'm like, hey, I'm mad at you right now. And she's like, why? Why are you mad at me? I said, well, one, I told y'all about my fashion show 2 months ago when I first, got booked for it or whatever. And y'all missed it. And also the whole situation with my car or whatever. So grandma at first, she began to try to justify it like, well, I didn't do da. And I'm like, grandma, you can't do that. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Because I'm hurting. Like, that hurt my feelings and I need you to understand that. So she kind of stepped back a little bit and was like, you know what? Yeah, you was right. And then she actually apologized to me for the first time. And I was like, oh, wow.
Accountability.
And
That's
then
so
mom
cool.
came and I told mama, I was like, hey, I'm mad at you too. But I couldn't blame mama either because the reason why mama was late was a whole nother situation. That's neither here nor there. We're not gonna go dig into the nitty gritty. But basically, the basis of the conversation was we all was like, okay, yeah, I can see how you got there. I can see why you felt like that.
And just helping validate
And
each
just
other's
that 30
feelings.
minutes, that 30 minutes of a situation was like a 2.5 hour conversation.
And stuff, that small stuff, it
Yeah.
gets so big when you
For
don't talk
no
about
reason.
But no,
You
it's
get
always
what
the
I'm
principle. The
saying?
principle is always bigger than the actual situation. So
Right.
actually, it's not for no reason.
Okay.
Because it may seem so small, but it's always that. For me, it's always the principle. That principle, I'd be like, I see why you did that, but is the morality behind it? What are you doing? So now we need to talk about it. We need to, pick that apart.
I like that.
Type thing. So
Yep.
I like that. I like the way I like two things. I like the way you came at the situation because a lot of people, some situations to go past, especially me, reflecting on myself. Like I see somebody do something that may be unethical to me, but I never say nothing. That part, you actually came and say, "Hey, listen, this is how I feel." Just put it on the table, just letting it go, releasing it.
Like that, though.
Now,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you just shooting a gun. You don't know who's about to hit.
Cause I don't care.
And that's I like that part.
Good for you. So proud of you.
I like that part. Now you kind of sending them a letter. Now it's kind of like the ball is in your court. What are you gonna do about it? Oh, I don't feel like. Then you came again. Listen, you can't do that. You can't justify your actions.
But that's the thing though. That's what I find so funny because my mama, my daddy, my grandma, even my granddaddy, even though he wasn't around all the time, all of them always taught me, don't let nobody just do stuff to you.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And also, I'm a Leo. I'm a boss. You can't just do something to me and not expect no and not expect no repercussions. Like,
Yeah, Leo boss. Okay.
You can't.
Such a
can't,
Leo
you
thing.
can't
See
do
what I'm
something. You
saying?
can't do something to me and not expect me to say nothing because that's like me letting you play in my face.
It is though.
We're not gonna do that around here.
I like that, man. I like
You
that.
think about most, like, you know what I'm saying, young men at your age that don't, you know what I'm saying, they don't know.
They hold that anger in, though, and it
Yeah.
causes them to spaz at the wrong time.
Right.
If you don't, you know, talk to somebody about what's bothering you, just bottle it up, and it's kind of like a teapot. I love that representation because once it starts to get too boiled to, oh my goodness, I can't talk, I'm nervous. But once it gets too hot, you know, it start whistling and you blow. You can't do that.
Yeah. That's one thing I will say. He always, even when he was 2 years old.
Well, no, I'm
He's
not gonna lie
always
to you.
be speaking out.
It's a part, but there's a part. It was like 2 years of high school that you missed. I was a hothead.
I know it because
I
you were
was-
showing out. He was
I
more
probably
like
had,
acting
I
out.
probably had like 4, maybe. Well, that was in my freshman year. Freshman year, that's when I had all my fights. But like the rest of high school, I wasn't really fighting.
I see, I ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah, freshman year. But
I
it was
was
like
so like,
after I met Tay and
somewhere
Amari
else.
and them, I was good after that. Like they kind of kept me level. But Tay was a hothead, so I had to watch her at that point and have her take accountability. Like, yo, you know what you're doing is wrong, right? Type thing. Same thing with Amari. Like,
some of y'all friends are going to get it and some of them isn't. And I want y'all to not pour so much of your energy into, and I'm just telling you from just experiencing the lessons with me. We try to play God sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's so true. Yes.
And oh my goodness, it can get you in a situation you don't want to get in, because especially if you're not mentally strong enough to do that.
and if your friend not ready to hear it.
There you go.
And I even look at it. I even look at it from the perspective that you gave it in. We try to play God. We know what that holy force that we call God. We know that it ain't gonna give us something that we ain't seeking for.
There you go.
As you seek, you shall give. So why would we try to give somebody that they ain't even seeking for?
Right.
God ain't. You know, person ain't gonna bless you with something that you wasn't looking for.
So that conversation, that first conversation that you have with somebody, or you had that encounter, and you get that little, you know what I mean. Y'all very intuitive, so you get that, and you say, "Oh, this person wasn't sent to me. You're not assigned to me." You get what I'm saying? Because you will attract that person to you that you're supposed to be, helping, or they helping you. Y'all supposed to be able to pour into each other.
That's right.
Unless
So,
somebody asking for advice. I
Like
don't
y'all
say nothing.
literally pour into each other. I love y'all. You know exactly how y'all do, because y'all
Thank
sitting
you.
around, y'all talking about,
Me
how to
family.
make things better, and y'all doing the YouTube, you know what I'm saying, to encourage everybody. So that's good.
Thank you.
I love that. That's who you're supposed to have around you. I always say your team is your drinking well. You just better make sure you drink from the right one, because other than that, you're going to get sick.
That's right.
That's true.
And people don't understand that when you
Did you say
are
you made
going
that up?
through.
You need to go ahead and patent that right quick. Like, that was dope. That was fire.
When you're going through,
Poetry.
it was astrology.
Oh,
Well,
Ooh.
simply because I'm a freaking Aquarius, okay, y'all. So I'm a
Hey, that
water
went right over the
bearing,
head.
okay.
Right over the head.
So I'm a water bearing. Y'all gotta understand. I push out so much of it, but I have to pour back into myself. So sometimes I have to step back away from a lot of people, and people misunderstand me. They've been misunderstanding me for a very long time because they think I'm not compassionate or I don't care, and it's not that. It's just I have to be in a certain space.
Logical.
In order for you to manage
Yes, I'm
those.
very logical. It's like I have to think, and I have to be by myself. So I'm introverted, but I'm extroverted when I need to be.
That's me.
And it's totally gonna be for a reason. Like
That's
you
me.
just can't. I can't put you in my space anymore. I mean, I did that a long time, and it didn't get me anywhere. So that's why I said when y'all have friends or people that's around y'all, and y'all see what type of toxic behavior they're in, they're not trying to move forward or being on the same page that y'all on, you're going to see those friends are going to start disappearing. And it's not even you losing them, they losing you. You get what I'm saying? You look at it the other way around because you already know where you're going.
That's right.
Yeah, you know your values. You know what type of life you want to have and all that. Just don't let the environment take you away from that and steer you off, because it can happen very, very fast.
And very easily.
Easy.
Very easy.
Yeah. So don't think you a loner. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like healing, you know, you gotta go in solitude. So you gotta be by yourself.
You have to.
So you do become a loner a little bit, and it's okay. But
And
after you come out of that, you'll know how to distribute your energy. You'll know how to, you know, protect yourself from people.
That.
So
I like that.
People always say, Candace, you don't go nowhere. You don't do anything. It's not that I don't. It's just we not matching on where I'm going right now. And I need everybody to understand that. That's for anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. It can be your siblings. It can be your mother. It can be your father. It's just certain things. No, we not going to match on that. Right. And everybody has to be okay with that.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So that is the important part when you can get your family together and y'all can talk stuff out. Because as you see, the small things, they be so big. And y'all come like, dang, we could just talk about this a whole, you know.
It's the snowball effect.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought I was alone though. Like as far as like mentally, before I met these two beautiful individuals, like I was alone. But at the top of the year, it was like, all right, cool. I was going through a period of isolation, and then once the separation came, I started to elevate. And I was kind of like in one higher realm, and I was different auras around me. It's different people that I'm surrounding myself with, and it's like it's amazing. Like we go to this event every Wednesday, and it's just like a
poetry in the park.
Great.
Oh yeah, I like that.
I love that.
That's where you came.
Can I shout them out real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so poetry in the park. I rock local. I think they like the same, basically the same thing. Can we do the address on here? Is that okay? Like it's a public place, right? So it's not okay. No, I'm just saying. Like,
that little spot dope though. I like it.
No, it's a spot we go to every Wednesday. It's a friend. It's our I would call it our home as our friend group, kind of. But it's 12527 Woodward Avenue.
Just got the address on lock.
Yes, because I had to keep telling it to people. And no, it's a place for people that's a part of like Jewels of Detroit. That's what they also call themselves. And just artistry, anybody, poetry. I say my affirmations there. We speak our poems there. It's just a place for people who are free-spirited that just honestly want to be free-spirited and just express themselves.
Yeah, if you feel like you're alone, you're not.
You're not. Come out. And it's a beautiful, and the reason why I say it's a beautiful environment is because even some people who think they're not willing to go, they go and they always go like Khadijah. They be like, then they end up performing and they be like Khadijah or whoever. Thank you, because you know sometimes you need that energy. Yeah. So,
but think about how it's releasing. You know, people that do poetry, if they write whatever it is that they do music. Just like me with me cooking and baking, that's a part of releasing.
It's so
things.
Healing.
Yeah. So people, and I didn't even realize that too until after I started knowing who I was. So that's why it's important for you to learn who you are. Like tap all the way in. You just have no clue, like the stuff that you can use to release a lot of that stuff. You're gonna have some stuff deep down inside. You got that deeply rooted stuff, and you don't know it until you come in contact with either somebody or a situation happen. Yeah, usually that twin flame.
Twin flame gonna do it every time. Twin
flames come, they gonna bring everything up out of you, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, I thought I healed from that."
Nope.
Yeah, and you haven't.
Come on,
you know what I mean? So, and it's important for you to recognize that too. So y'all gonna have like a lot of different relationships. Y'all gonna have a lot of people that's gonna come into your space, but y'all have to know where to put them at. Ooh. That's why with Jalen, I told him learn how to play chess. I learned how to play chess, Dylan, because the king and the queen, that's me. I'm protecting me. I got my people on my board, but I know how to move them. I already know that my pawns can move a certain way. I know that my horses can move at an L shape. You know what I'm saying? I know my bishops can move diagonally, so I'm going to put everybody that comes into my life, they're going to get put where they need to get put, and I'm going to be able to maneuver them how I need to. That's you know what I mean? To be able to save myself. Right. But when it comes to checkmate, it's Candace versus Candace. It ain't nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So when you come to that and you know, oh, I got to check myself. There's something going on. This person is they distracting me, or are they pouring into me? Are they reciprocating back to me? Or are they taking from me? And you should be able to know. Definitely. You'll be exhausted. You won't feel peaceful. You know what I
like
mean?
that.
So you have a female, you have a dude come into your life. If you got any type of, you know, like I talked about on the last podcast, you got chaos going on, you know, you gotta leave that person alone.
Most definitely.
You're like, this ain't, So we ain't doing normal.
Right.
What were you about to say?
I'm about to ask you a question, because I just thought about this. Because the other day you was telling us how you finished that journal. Is most of your journaling and stuff, is that mostly accountability in there? Or is it just you talking about your day or whatever?
Free my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
I'm
just
learning.
randomly write, like, just
I write
whatever.
every single thing that comes to my head. Like,
Yeah.
I do not care. I literally sat up there and been like, I want pineapples and wrote that. But and it's
This
nothing.
baby just let all her emotions out. Like,
You have
I want
to.
some pizza.
That's his.
No, really though.
Release
Because
it.
you have to, because I had to understand that I don't know how to really express myself in ways that
Got it.
that I can't, not yet. So it's like, okay, how can I free my mind, because I'm not always being my complete utter self. So where do I have a place where I could just not think of anything and just everything comes out and I just let it be. So that's why my journaling is like very sacred to me.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I feel it.
I can second that too, because for me it serves as a way to just, you know, like a garbage can might have a lot of papers in there. That would be your mind. Sometimes you gotta dump that garbage can out so you can allow some more stuff to come into it,
Right.
and release all them things that don't even, that's just taking up space. Kind of like every once and again we gotta clear our phones out, delete some old pictures or whatever.
I do
I
that
just
too
do that
much.
Our
I do
minds
that
are
too
hard
much.
now.
Might have OCD.
And about
Then
that
you
chess
make
thing
sure.
too. I like that you said. I like that chess example. The one thing that really stuck to me is the queen. For those of you who don't know, the queen is like one of the most powerful pieces on the chessboard. Know how to maneuver the queen. Women in life is so amazing because they know how to do alchemy, like literally. So for me, it's just I have to. It's a necessity to connect with divine feminine. That's a necessity because they're going to make things manifest faster due to the alchemy that they can do with their body. They can turn a tiny sperm cell into a whole human being. That's alchemy.
That
So,
womb.
You
Just
gotta
imagine
take
the
care
mind
of her.
Shout out to the women over here, melanated women.
I got a question.
Hey.
I had a question, one.
Yes.
So, you've been in a lot of relationships. I've been there with you. But do you feel like accountability is completely that men and women take accountability different? Like, how have you seen accountability in your generation? Like, as far as men and women in your generation, like with your friends and stuff like that, and their kids and their husbands and boyfriends and baby daddies and all that.
I said baby daddies.
Baby
Okay.
daddies.
It is different in my generation. Especially with, I'm gonna say both. With women, it's hard because it's more like you're living in these different realities for so long, and like I said, everything becomes normal. So that pain, that trauma, that feeling that you get is so normal to you. Every time you come encounter with it, it's just so comfortable.
So y'all just like ride along the whole time.
Yeah. So instead of you being in your present moment, you're constantly always still in your past thinking about what happened, even from what happened yesterday. And everybody know how I am about what happened yesterday. I don't care. Like yesterday literally does not mean anything to me. I've got to that point now.
That's
You could
great.
probably ask me what happened yesterday and I'm like, if I remember.
No,
You
most
get
I
what I'm
don't.
saying? I literally forget about it. And I do it on purpose because I have to live in the present. I have to be in that moment
That's something
at
I'm
all
learning
times.
right now.
And because this is the only thing I can control. Like, I'm sitting here, I can control talking to y'all right now, you know, and doing that. But when I even walk out this door, I can't even control that, so I don't worry about that. You get what I'm saying? I'm only worrying about every little step that I do at that moment. And that's the way I'm not bringing in my past with me no more. Because now I can see in front of me and the stuff that's coming to me, I don't have that baggage. You know what I mean? That baggage is gone. So with women, society has hit us with insecurity issues.
Fact. That's
Right?
so factual.
So my insecurity started when I was in middle school, and it was because I was dark skinned. So I was getting teased at that time. Kids was teasing you to be dark skinned.
Right.
So think about the whole time I'm going about to probably like 9th grade. I had a boy tell me I was pretty.
Right.
First time, I'm like, oh guess I am pretty. Being dark skinned. So it was funny. Wild. It came from him. And that's what made my confidence level go up. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, instead of it coming from home, where it should come from. You know what I'm saying? Your parents. And then my dad, you know, due to the lifestyle that my dad had as well, it was more of I picked up a lot of that too, being insecure. So, and then with men, it comes from you always being raised to be so tough all the time, right? You know, and not talk.
I just had a
Don't be vulnerable because you gay or you a punk or you. Is always these damn names
that
you
men
know,
are always called.
When you can't express yourself. So that causes a problem. And now we get older. You got this woman that got insecurity issues. You got this man that don't even want to communicate, and he's not feeling as though he can be vulnerable to you because you're probably going to throw it in his face, or you're probably going to judge him for talking, or call him a punk or something too, because that's what he's been used to. Right? So you got these two people in the household that can't do nothing with each other. Mm-hmm. So he may not even have insecurity issues. It's just the fact that he can't communicate the things that he wants. So now, if he can't communicate the things that he wants to his woman, how is he going to get anything that he needs? Mm-hmm. And he can't talk to you.
How's he going to teach the kids?
Can't teach the kids anything. Mm-hmm. And then you had a woman, she's so insecure, he can't even go out the door to go to work because she thinking he cheating or he doing something, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now he got in his mind, oh, damn, she don't trust me. She don't trust him. And it's like, it's a constant situation, but that's the trauma bonding part. You know what I'm saying? That's where you bond at. She got trauma. He got trauma. They ain't healed from it. So now they close. Mm-hmm. That's normal. You get what I'm saying? Y'all feeling that same pain. You as one. You attract who you are. So you're going to attract a broken person if you're a broken person. Mm-hmm. And I did that. I attracted so many guys throughout my life, and they was all broken just like I was. And that's why things didn't make it. Now I can look back, and I can see the guys that I either encountered, they never healed from anything. You know what I'm saying? They had walls up too, just as well as I did, because they don't want to get hurt. You know, men get hurt too. Men get abused mentally, physically, emotionally, just as well as women do. So I have to understand too, and that's why I can't blame them for treating me the way that they was treating me, because I got treated horrible by a few guys, you know, but it was because they didn't even know who they was. They couldn't respect the value of me because they didn't even know who they was. And then I couldn't even respect my value as because I didn't know me either. So you got two people together, don't even know who the hell they are. And y'all just like lost.
Two lost souls.
And can't even have a conversation.
Two lost souls. That's a good poet.
And those uncomfortable conversations just wasn't never gonna happen. Cause who want to talk? Nobody want to talk about that.
Or you know how to talk about
they don't know. Yeah, and sometimes they might not even know that they have to talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the hardest part for me. Like, still to this day, like, I'm able to take accountability, but the hardest part for me is, how do I come and tell you? Except for like with you and grandma, I can just come to y'all like, I didn't like what y'all did to me. I didn't like that.
He does.
And with my friends, I'd be like, I didn't like that. That wasn't cool. But like with other people, I kind of be like,
same way.
I don't know you, but
yeah.
Here you go, right here. I'm about to lay it out, type thing.
There we go.
But that's like the hardest part, starting the conversation. But also, I feel like it's hard because the other person, usually they're never ready to have that conversation. Like, I have a friend right now. I have not talked to her like the past month because we had a situation. We talked about it. We just have not talked again since then. And I'm like, do I need to call you, or do you need to call me, type thing.
Give her space.
That's what I'm doing. Like, I feel like we're giving each other space. That's my twin right there. Gotta love her. But I don't know what to say because we talked about it already. I said my piece. You understood. You said your piece. I understood completely. But now we're not talking. I don't know what happened.
She really understand? You think she understand? Mm-hmm. Because somebody that truly understands, they gonna y'all still gonna be able to talk. Just like how when you done talking to me, telling me how you feel. What we about to eat? Mm-hmm. We done.
I'm gonna ask that anyway. It don't matter what's going on. I'm gonna ask that anyway.
So it's like that's when you know somebody got it. They processed it, and people have to understand when somebody say something to you. But the only way you're gonna get to that point to be receptive to when somebody is telling you something that's hurting them is after you've healed from your situations. If you're not healed and you try to say that, they got defense. That defense mechanism kicks up, and they're like, no, I ain't do that, because now they're ready to blame it on somebody else. They gotta reflect it on you or reflect it back to you, because they still ain't dealt with their situation.
But
So it's hard to talk to them.
I kind of have I'm on opposition with that one, because with me, I don't want to wait till I'm healed. Let's talk about it right now, because if we don't talk about it at all, I'm going to forget what happened, and I'm not going to care no more.
No,
And
I'm talking about somebody that's not like, say for instance, they still like, y'all are different. But I'm saying y'all friends that y'all know is still going through trauma.
Oh, are you,
and y'all
are you,
try
okay.
to talk to them.
Okay, you still talking about a traumatized person? Cause I'm about to say, even now, like now that I've like done the work and stuff like that, yeah, it's easier. But you talking about if somebody hasn't done no work,
Nothing
period.
at all. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then don't go talking to them, cause nah,
It's not gonna work.
You gonna find yourself in the hole.
Yeah.
And they gonna be the one digging it. So, yeah.
Then you find yourself having a hard time talking to a lot of your friends that you know they're not doing the work. Y'all know who doing the work on themselves. Y'all know who catching themselves. Y'all know who's actually trying to be aware of the things that they're doing.
I'm in my solitude period, so I don't talk to people that much.
Yeah. She like her mama. Okay.
But no,
I don't. Go ahead.
Katie worse than me. Like I be going into my little hiatus, but when Katie go in, you don't hear nothing.
Oh yeah, you don't hear nothing me either.
No, like literally, I kind of like my life because all I do is consist of my content and working, because that's all I care about. That's all I need.
That's it. That's what matters the most, and and that's a big part of y'all generation being able to take self accountability and doing self care. It matters.
It does.
The best part about it, though, my bad, excuse me, but just real quick, but what makes it easier is if you have people around you who understand that.
Yeah.
You cannot have friends who do not understand that.
Right.
I don't need to be around you 24/7.
I'm not
no, because I was that friend. I was a clingy. I used to be a clingy friend. I used to be like,
So
I don't
did
like
I.
that. I used
So
to be
did
like
I.
that.
But I think it's interesting you said when it comes to the friends and being able to talk with certain friends, I had to understand, like, for certain friends, some friends might not be those friends that you could have those conversations with. And at first I was like, okay, so does that mean should I still be friends with them, or should I not still be friends with them? And I think the idea of the whole situation with chess, it was like I had to realize certain friends are different. So like some friends, I might just be with you because we just might hang out, or I just like my sister. I was talking to her, and certain conversations, like I was looking, I was like, we don't actually talk, we just be around each other. And then I was like, okay,
You noticed it after a while.
and personally, because I'm still in my solitude period, I'm not used to talking. I'm not used to like just being around people. It's like if you're around me, I have to talk to you. So I asked her, I was like, okay, I think I have to take the initiative. Do you just like presents?
Wow.
She was like, yes. I was like, cool.
At least you asked.
And that's what I had
She told you.
because when it comes, like, I've been trying my hardest to like observe people, because everybody, like, we might all love in different ways. So she might not take me talking to her the same way I talk to you, or the same way I talk to you, the same way as love as we do.
Love,
But she might take me just being there on the phone with her as just love.
Right.
So I was like, okay, so certain friends I could, we don't have to talk. We just there.
I'm not going to sit on the phone and listen to you breathe.
but but that's different.
No, for real.
Yeah, no, I
ain't
get
got
it.
time for that.
But no, I had to I just told her, I was like, okay, so basically I'll call you when I'm cleaning, because I could have my music playing and I could have, and this is just our bonding moment.
Correct.
That's how we bond. So everybody
That's dope, though.
It
Learning
is.
in silence. That's different.
and I don't talk as much anymore, except for like when I'm actually in person with people. So within talking, no longer speaking, I kind of had to learn how to listen to people without hearing people.
For sure.
So I'm excited because I'm like, you sing a lot in that silence right now. I hear you.
But you know, them
So I
senses
got-
get to picking up.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
I got 3 ways, right?
heck
3
yeah.
ways of conversations with different type of people, just in the same as we talking about with the chess. So the first type of relationship we want to have is a person that's pouring into you, right? So that would be your mother, your father, any mentor, anybody that can give you some substance and some stuff that you can take and put into your own life. that's pretty much my favorite type of relationship. That's pretty much most of relationships, 75% of relationships that I have is based off that concept. I'm around people that's literally 10 years ahead of me, and they like, that's how I'm able to be ahead of, you know, the top tier of my class, just based off being around them. The second one is your peers, being around people, like you were saying, the wishing well, like having people that you equally, it's an equilibrium, it's balance. You are both pointing to each other. I'm giving you substance, you giving me substance, we developing each other.
Right.
The third type of relationship you want to have is people that you pouring into. Now, not to be confused with people draining you. Yeah. It's people that you developing that's around you. So you might have little cousins, and you actually giving them substance. So that would be the same relationship that y'all got. You giving him substance. Those are three type of relationships that I have, and I've really been making it a law in my life to those. If I'm having conversations with people, these are the foundation conversations that I'm having. I'm either pointing to somebody pointing to me, or we both pointing to each other.
Mutual.
That's it. Don't nothing else matter. Ooh, y'all hear these babies? They smart.
Thank you.
They real smart. Y'all beating. I'm telling you, y'all beating a lot of adults out here.
I'm laughing because you saw the lady named Miss Shirley. These babies right here, they smart.
Smart baby.
That's what's up. Y'all generation is going to be happy.
I feel like Parker generation gonna be even better though. Well, y'all don't know who Parker is. Never mind.
Parker is little cousin, my niece.
That's my niece cousin.
I'm really excited.
Because of us though, we pointing to them.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited to see like the younger generation.
Oh man,
they're gonna be dope. They already dope.
They really are. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's like a lot of people who
Only thing is they need to go outside. I don't like that they always on the phone.
Right, that is true. That is true.
These electronics then made them stay in the house. They FaceTiming their friends.
Then the pandemic babies, pandemic babies are definitely smart, but still, I want them to go outside.
Exactly.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah.
They just so these new generation, they so witty, like they real witty.
Yeah, they real quick.
They
with
ready
it.
to go.
They know how to.
That's some ancestors though.
That's what King was just talking about on that last episode we did. He said that he was like, man, he said they ready for war out here.
Man, Parker, oh my god, you met my little cousin, but you haven't seen her in action.
Yeah, she real smart. She just about to be 2 in 2 weeks, man. That girl, extra smart. Yeah.
But that's what it's all about, though, y'all. Just make sure we pouring into these generations. That's the third type of relationship. We gotta pour as much as we can. I just took initiative to start a group chat with my cousins, my little cousins. They at 18 and under. I'm giving them development. I'm giving them free game, as they like to call it.
That's
Seriously, though. Developing their mind so they can be mentally, physically, and spiritually. They have to be intact. So now they can be the top tier in their class, and they can. It's the trickle down effect. But it had to start with me taking initiative to develop the people that's around me.
Right.
I keep looking for it.
That's true too, because I actually I have like a stronger bond with my little cousins.
Yeah.
Just because of like what they're personally going through in their life, and just seeing the fact that I don't know, I take a lot of honor in the fact that my nieces, as well as my little cousins, can even come to me and talk to me about certain things. And I really be like, thank you for allowing me to be that person that you are able to be vulnerable with.
That's it.
So, no, I'm really excited to see like just how much the kids talk more and how they like want to actually be around their family more and just.
I need y'all to teach me because I'm just now not just now becoming a big brother. But I'm just now having to actually like step up to do that.
Correct. Right, because that is a responsibility.
I'm back here in Detroit now, so I'm around my brother. He's 13 now, and I have another little brother. He's 9. I grew up as an only child, so the only person I know how to take care of is me. Right. But right now, it's like I'm in the process of learning, like, how can I talk to this 13-year-old boy? Because he reminds me of me and what I was doing. And same way with my little brother who's 9, is like, I do. I listen to him all the time, but I don't want to be like a parent brother and be like, you're wrong. I kind of want to be his brother and his friend.
Right. Something my mom, she told me that she had to do with my sisters and I. When it comes to them talking to you, same thing I told y'all. we venting or we
Right.
venting or you want advice.
Right.
Exactly.
So when it comes to that, it's just like sometimes when it comes to like the younger ones, just be like, are you venting to me? Like, do you just need to cry? And then, or do you just need to express yourself? Because it's like, I don't think there's such a thing as like, oh, I'm the big brother, I'm like bigger, or I'm just your friend. It's just like, no, I'm just a person, you know.
We on the same level, brother.
We in the same life. All of us are living and experiencing life, and that's so interesting in me because, you know, not to say this, Mom, but a lot of your generation, I typically hear them say like, you a kid, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, wait, hold on, I have feelings, you know. So with them saying that, it's like just kind of like putting it into them like, no, whatever you're feeling, you're supposed to feel that. It's okay to feel that.
Okay to feel that. Right?
It's okay to feel that. We all going through our own different things in life, but even those younger ones, the stuff that's going on in their life right now, it's stressful to them, and it's okay to be stressful for them because it's their reality in their life.
To be real quick, to piggyback off of what you said, I feel like their stress is of course completely different because they know this.
Yeah.
So like, the smallest things happen, they be like, they lose it.
It's the same thing. But to answer your question, just be relatable with them. Understand. Let them know that, hey, listen, I've been through the same thing you went through. I've been through that same thing. I've been through that same thing. Then you now show them how you got through it. Hey, listen, this how you do that. Are you having girl troubles? I got you.
Yep.
This is what I did. I did X, Y, and Z. Come on, bro. Like you actually, so now you going down to their level, but you bringing them up. So now you giving them awareness. Okay, cool. It's okay to have this conversation. It's okay to do this now. So not as far as like. It's kind of like you being with them instead of standing over them, and like, no, don't do that, no, do that. One thing I want to say too, development has nothing to do with age too, cause I developed. Listen, I developed my grandma. I was talking to my grandma the other day. She was talking about a lot of problems that was going on. I said, hey, listen, grandma, we're going to talk about the good things that's going on. We're going to show some gratitude.
Okay.
We already know about that.
Man.
That's what we be doing. That's a daily thing.
No, because it's so interesting, like, being that person where, like, I'm seeing people go through the same sugar honey iced tea that I went through. And I'm like, oh, crap. This is, like, my life. And I'm like, as far as the whole thing, like, okay, resemble with them, relate with them. So that whole idea of like me just saying, oh yeah, I went through this, not like you'll get through it, because sometimes like the whole you'll get through it, it's okay. No, that I'm not okay right now. I don't want to hear you'll get through this. It's more so like, okay, tell me how you feeling, and we're gonna talk about
show
this.
Me the way.
And then I'm gonna show you how I did it.
That's right.
And if you want to do it a different way, do it a different way. And you even said that with your pops, like when it comes to you and your life. And he even said, are you okay with the conversation? Okay. And him saying to you, basically, you know, giving you advice, but you were telling him, no, I need to figure this out myself. I'm basically just telling you what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, but I got to figure this out myself. Yeah. And just them having that safe place of, okay, you could tell me this way how you got through it. I don't know if that's gonna work for me. I'm gonna try it a different way. Right. But it's even if it's them trying it a different way, they learned their lesson whichever way they need to learn it for their life.
Bingo. Yeah. Drop them gems on them. Don't pay the way. Don't pay the way for them. Don't say this. Hey, this
don't say this how you do it.
Right. Yeah. Here's what if I was in this situation. Here's what I would do.
But you got to figure it out yourself.
Basically, give them the blueprint.
Yeah. Give them the blueprint, but don't tell them. Don't hand them the tool and say.
Don't tell them how to go about it. Just hey, look. This is it. Put it together.
There we go.
Ooh, giving them instructions. Like the instructions to what was it that we had to build as a kid? Something we had to build.
Well,
like a Lego.
Like Legos.
Like a Lego. Yeah. You give them the instructions. Tell them, all right, read it. Now you do what you do.
But you still they put their own, which is cool about it is that they put their own spin on it, and then now they also have somebody else's wisdom. And I actually am a person who's had the luxury of growing up with a lot of people's wisdom. So,
it shows, though. It shows. It's kind of like making Kool-Aid, all right? Here's what goes in the Kool-Aid. Whether you want to put the water first, go ahead and put the water part. I'll put the sugar first. If you want to put the sugar first,
that's the great analogy.
Okay. I was about to say,
I don't drink Kool-Aid.
Does it make you feel sick? Because it makes me feel sick.
Oh, my God.
I don't drink, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Why I say my live ended, y'all?
Probably
it's too long, yeah.
Oh.
It usually go for like an hour and a half maybe, and then it cut off.
So what I gotta do? Hit share now or something?
You can share it, or you can discard it and just start it.
That's how I go. Just show them, just giving them, here's what goes in it. Whether you want to put this first, It's three things. Or First
it's
is
gonna
system.
save though, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's systems, which is the foundation, the blueprint. Then it's the personality. The personality gonna put their own spin on what it is.
And see, that's what I like about y'all, because y'all grew up with a lot of people around y'all who kind of like was already instilling in y'all like, hey, you are a guy, you are this, you are that. Me and my mama, we grew up together.
Right.
In a sense. So that's why we tight like that, cause like, I don't know if I should say this, but my mama's really like my sister, if you ask me. Like, at the end of the day,
She acts like it.
at the end of the day, I know that's my mom.
Like his sister.
She take pride in being called your sister.
Her head already big, y'all.
Hey,
But
I'm gonna try to go live again on here.
Yeah, me and my mom, we had to grow up together. So like a lot of things, like a lot of like turning points in my life, and then mom was like, we kind of was like, all right, what we gonna do
Sorry,
right here?
y'all. They kicked me off and said I was
Like what we gonna
already
do?
over
What we gonna
an
do from
hour.
here? So our wisdom, we kind of had the same wisdom together.
I see that though.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
That's
I see
like
that.
that's the dynamic of our relationship. But it would have been nice though to like grow up, you know, having somebody like telling me, you're a god. You can't nobody do nothing to you.
Oh,
You control
okay.
this
That
reality.
part.
Da, da, da. It would have been
Oh,
nice to
man.
have that. However, I'm glad that I got there eventually.
And sometimes,
That
and that's
part.
what's interesting about life too. It's like it doesn't matter when you learn something, as long as you learn it, and
right.
as long as you're able to apply it. That's all that matters.
That's the accountability right there.
One thing too with Khadijah, I'm so glad that you are young and you're starting, you know what I'm saying, to be in your divine feminine and you understand.
That's
Thank
the
you.
goddess right there.
Because
Thank you.
It's my queen.
Thank you.
I wish there was a me
Mhm.
back in the day.
Mhm.
You know who I am now.
Mhm.
I wish I did have me to sit up, you know what I'm saying, and tell myself all of these things. It's going to actually be very beneficial to you when you get into a relationship, when you find your king and you have kids and stuff, you know. You are already nurturing yourself at 19 years old.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You already know self-care. You know how to put yourself first already. You already, you know, you're very intuitive already. You're very in tune with nature already. You know what
Oh,
I'm
that's
saying?
my baby.
Hey, check this
So-
out too though. That's crazy.
And she know how to express herself.
Thank
That's
you.
right. And she talking about she don't
She's
want to
really
be
good
more.
listening to. My
She
fault.
said she don't want to be a motivational speaker. I said you better stop talking because every word you say is going to be motivational.
But no,
Yeah.
I would consider Katie.
Hey, Zena.
I would consider Katie a really great, like a good motivational speaker because she knows how to listen.
Yeah.
She's really good at listening. So it's like that's the dopest part. To be a motivational speaker, you got to know how to listen first. That's the first part of communication.
Thank you.
So
You
Yeah.
gotta know, just being like knowing what to say can, like you said, you gotta listen. So you gotta know what hot spot to hit. What do I need to say to this person to hit them in this spot instead of giving it the right.
you ain't got no arms no more. I was confused.
No, I'm not even cold. I'm just kind of cozy.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm over here
No, you
cozy.
scared me. I just thought, I was like,
That's
where
dope.
my arms go? But
Yeah.
anyway, that's neither here nor there. My fault.
And definitely listening. That's important.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Observing is one too, because a lot of us, I think it was Erica Badu who said that. She was like, it was about 70. My numbers are wrong. It's roughly about like 90% of us who are talking, 5% of us listening, and it was about, I think she said about 3% of us that's just observing.
Yeah.
So within that, it's just like being a person who's actually observing how everyone's behaving. It's like, oh wow, you know, we all really do act in our own different ways.
Yeah.
And we honestly just come to so many conflicts because we keep expecting everybody to be like us, and it's just like, no, we all different. And I recently just came up with this idea of we were at Poetry in the Park, and you know, we compare ourselves a lot. I think as artists in general, we typically do compare ourselves a lot. So thinking of a canvas, and when you see a canvas and you see I would say abstract art in particular, when you see a canvas, you don't just see red, you don't just see blue, you see purple, you see pink, and you see green, but you don't compare which one, that red looks better than that green, that green looks better than that blue. No, they all one, and they all make one of each other. So within that, it's just like, that's how we are as people. That's how we are as artists and musicians and just creators.
That's
Everybody in this reality is you. You are them, and they are you.
It's a light, just even I expect you about the colors. All colors really are a fragmentation of the same light. It just being distorted at a certain angle for it to be a certain color. It's based off your perception. So I always say this all the time, and I don't even know how can we get to the bottom of it, but we looking at this necklace. Them necklaces might be blue, but how do you know that my blue and your blue is the same blue?
Right.
Yeah.
How do we know that? Exactly.
Whoa.
Exactly.
Talking about.
We've had this conversation
I think
before.
we did, yeah. That's why I had a
I can't get to
flashback.
the
Like,
bottom of it.
I had a flashback. Like, didn't we have like?
No, we had the conversation. Kim was in the back, and we were saying.
That was like when we first started hanging out.
No, it wasn't.
Or was it?
No,
When
it was when we were going to Korea's house.
That's interesting. I
I
mean,
do
it makes
remember
sense
that.
though.
How
I
do
do
we know?
remember that.
I mean, I just said this to Jalen the other day. I said, "How you know what's good and what's bad?"
That's
It's
mama, that's so
So,
true. That's so
you
true.
have I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I see this.
Are we
too.
getting deep? We getting
yeah.
deep now.
So when people say, "Oh, you did this or you did that and that was bad," you weren't supposed to do that, and it's like
Who determines what's good and who
that was my
determines what's
choice.
bad?
You know what I mean? Just because that choice might be bad for you, it might not have been bad for me. Like, who's to really say that robbing the bank is really bad? Who's to say that?
Exactly.
Who said that? It's just like that's the things that we have to understand. Like, that's the perception. That's what's been put into society, and that's what's been. And I'm not saying that we ain't gonna.
No. I'm open to
You
receiving.
get what I'm saying?
No, I'm
but-
receiving. I'm receiving really, really well.
But it's just a
it's
lot
like,
of things. That's the polarity. We do have the
Yeah.
opposite polarity of everything. Yes, it's going to be a good and bad, but it's just some situations. Just like, who really knows that that's bad? Is it because somebody else told you that was bad? Of that
Precisely.
choice that you made.
Precisely.
And every choice that you take and you make is just going to be how it's going to affect you only. So you got the left or the right. Which way you
Facts.
going?
Man, I
Right.
just said that it's like it's no such thing as
And
a
that's
good
just it.
decision or a
It's
bad
not-
decision. It's
nope.
either it's decisions
Yep.
and it's consequences because of that decision.
There you go. That's it. It's that simple, and people we didn't look at it like that. We kind of went all the way around the whole man
I mean,
Because-
well,
just to figure it out.
proceed.
Because two people could do the same thing, and two people could have two completely different outcomes from that same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
man,
okay,
Grandma.
if you
Yeah.
like, if I were to
Oh my
rob a bank,
goodness.
right, that could be bringing me fortune for the rest of my life.
You
Okay.
on the other hand,
But-
you get caught.
and the
Yeah,
other person
you get caught, and it's just
Right.
like, okay, so
Yeah.
who's really the good or the bad person?
right. Check this out though. So that's
Yeah.
even in that same perspective, you can just like killing a person, right?
Remember your thoughts.
Let's say people
Hold your thought.
people go to a crowd and they just let off gunshots and they kill out a whole bunch of people. But then that same person go overseas and kill people and get all the blame and the glory for
And that's how
killing
it
people.
be.
But it's the same action that was took place. They both killed somebody. They
Mm-hmm.
both killed children. They both killed whoever.
Yeah.
I
But
was
the
waiting
way
for
we look
somebody
at
to
it is
justify death or justify murder. Cause I'm about to say, how can you justify murder though? But
unless
you
it's self
literally just
defense.
did it.
Unless it's self defense though. Somebody
Right.
run up on you
Yeah.
That's
and try
different.
to take your life.
Yeah,
Then that's
yeah,
self
I feel
defense.
You got
But
snipers that get paid to do it. It's
Come
just
on, man.
like,
But it was my first time like having an encounter with I guess the good and the bad was with grandma. Grandma, I can't really remember what it was, but it was something I was finna do, and grandma was like, "I'm about to say my nickname on the podcast. This is
the
crazy."
boo boo.
My grandma was like, "No, boo boo, I don't think you should do that." So I'm like, "Well, you was born, a little bit before me, so it's different now." But grandma was like, "Nah, you can't just do this. You can't just do that." And I'm like, "Grandma, I'm gonna go do it anyway. Y'all know that. Y'all know y'all can't really tell me.
It's happening.
Y'all can't really tell me that I'm not gonna do it because once it's set in stone,
It's hard to
I'm
change
about
it.
to go do it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, but then after I did what I did, my outcome was good. That's the good part about it. I think it was. I honestly don't remember. But that's kind of when I started thinking like, why does she think it was bad and I thought it was a good idea? And then I didn't really have a chance to connect it until you brought that concept to me of what is good and bad. And I'm still working on that because what is good and bad?
And that's for you to decide. And
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast, and honestly, I think a lot of us, we typically, this lady, she mentioned this, but I'm saying my thought first. We typically live by, this is good, this is bad, and that's it. And it's like, okay, who really determines good and bad, right? But then there's morals, things that you live by, You always state your laws. So it's like you have to have things that you live by, that you stand on that.
Principles.
And you don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't move certain things. But
Yeah.
when it comes to good and bad, it's just like, okay, I can't say that's good or I can't say that's bad because really in my reality, this is good. In your reality, that's bad.
Yeah,
Right.
it works for you. Exactly.
I
It's
guess-
the same thing with spirituality. Like, like
So many
King
different
Manifest
types.
said, it's
Right.
like so many different people that express themselves spiritually
Because
differently.
spirituality
So,
is just expression anyway.
Yeah.
And it's
Spirituality
also
is self-expression.
and it's also
So-
being in looking into yourself sometimes. But
Yeah.
another definition they would say was nature. That's what
That's expression in
spirituality is.
itself.
Spirituality at its essence is just everything what y'all just said, but spirit, it just means breath.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
it's
focus
just
and
breath.
center your attention on the breath, knowing that you are the breath that's in the body,
yeah.
and then allowing yourself to then express you being that breath. Spirituality, the art of breathing.
You almost
Yeah.
just started rapping there while you playing, but
The rapper just came out real quick. Nah, real stuff. Ken is a rapper.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
play
no,
with
yeah, for
him.
real. Ken dope. Check
Ken
him
is
out.
really a rapper. I'm ready for you to
I am
release some
Spiritual
music.
K.
Yeah.
And it
Hey,
is different,
say,
you know,
man.
different groups of
Amen,
people
say,
that
Amen.
Can
Say
I get an
man.
amen?
Amen. Amen. Say man. Can I get an amen?
Check him out.
That's dope.
Peace to
I
God,
like that.
man.
That was another thing too. I think we talked about that when I told you Jamel. Shout out to my cousin Jamel.
Uncle, cousin.
That's my
I got a lot
mentor,
of uncle
too.
cousins and then a lot of
He
niece
like
cousins.
the bomb, y'all. But he brought that to my attention as well. In the group, when you talk to different people that is in spirituality, like y'all can tell. Okay, say for instance, like when I'm on either other people's podcasts or whether it's mine and I'm interviewing people, pay attention to how I deliver and how that person delivers.
Oh, yeah,
Most
we
of the
did
time, we're all delivering the same message. We're just doing it in a different way.
Right.
So that doesn't make anyone no more spiritual than the other one.
Correct.
It's not a competition.
Correct.
But me, I may not wear the clothes. I may not have the dreadlocks, or somebody might have dreads. Somebody might have this or that or the other. Whatever the case may be, we're all different. And then even the words,
Correct.
you know, that we speak. Some
Yeah.
people say, oh, your higher self, your higher consciousness,
Spirit.
your spirit. People call it spirit, is all, and it's just you. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I find myself delivering more in a simple way
Yeah.
because I'm catching a different crowd of people.
Bingo. That's how you
Versus,
get it, though.
you know, like King Manifest. Shout out to you, bro. I know you on here.
It's the king.
He also has his audience that he draws in as well, based on how he speaks and how he deliver. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And me and him, when we talk, it's explosion over the phone. Literally, like we opening up a vortex when I'm talking to him. We're talking the same language. We're just saying it in different ways.
I
You
love
get what
that.
I'm saying?
And that's how you
And
do
I
it, though.
love the diversity between me and everybody else. If y'all watched the last episode, you can see
Man,
all of us
that
was
was
different
a fire
in our delivery.
podcast.
It was very
I
good.
love
It was pretty much the goddess. He had the goddess on, so he was like, I just want to hear from the divine feminine, which is important because it's not a lot of us, you know, that's
Correct.
tapping in. There's so many women still walking around and they're not healing themselves. They just
Sleepy.
going, you know, in a way. And I've been there. And the only reason why I can speak and I can talk because I'm walking in my truth already. It's like I'm not here to judge no woman. I'm not here to judge no man whatsoever because, honey,
Been there, did
I
that.
got a story. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting on a story.
Right.
And we're going to write about it. But, you know, my story is not better than theirs. I just want them to be more conscious and be aware of the decisions that they are making because I went through a lot just to be able to get to this point where I have boundaries now. I have standards. I know what my values, my principles, and my morals, and I'm standing on
That's
them.
right. That's right.
And I'm not going to allow anybody to break them. I was a people pleaser. You know, I was trying to, everybody wanted something from me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just spreading my energy all over the place. And then I look around, I don't have nobody there for me. You know, I didn't have nobody to talk to or have a me like I am now. I didn't have nobody to really call and tell them without me feeling that I was going to get judged.
Bingo.
But how can I call you and you going through toxic relationships as well, just as well as I am? Like, we ain't helping each other. That's not going to work. So when you separate from your friends or your family or people that's around you that's not in that same, you know, mind space that you in, they can't feel bad. They do feel bad and they feel like they want to hate you. Like, oh, she's leaving. She thinks
like,
she
you
better.
changed up. You switched
you know,
up.
you think you're better than somebody, and it's like, no, sweetheart, I did all that already. I'm going past that. I don't want to still continue that.
Right.
You know, and I need women. That's why I said women, we set the tone for a lot of things.
A lot.
Especially with bringing our men back up too as well. Like our men has been, you know, going downhill with confidence, being able to have a sacred space to be able to talk to somebody You know, they're around here holding it in, and that's where killing come from. Then you listening to the wrong music and stuff, and you hanging around the wrong people in the wrong environments. Been there and done that already, and it didn't get me nowhere. And ain't do nothing but expose me to drugs and expose me to other people and this and another that didn't even give 2 fucks about me. So we definitely have to be careful with that. So with us as women, healing first. I advise that. Heal yourself. Take your time. Be to yourself. Figure out what you want, what you like, and not be in everybody else's reality.
Right.
So that when you do get that opportunity to meet your king or the dudes you meet your queen, y'all already self-fulfilled already. So y'all did the work separately.
And being self-fulfilled, that love that you have with each other is a completely different love, because it's just like you not needing each other. It's like, okay, I already did all my work. I could satisfy myself in other ways that typically people need satisfied by others. So what else can you do differently? It's just like, okay.
And that's just where that support part comes from then. So if you already, you self-fulfilled and so is he already, now you're able to be more compassionate now, because now you coming from your heart space with this person. So it's heart and mind, they doing what they supposed to do. So now you can pour into them properly because you're not lacking anything.
Bingo. And you gotta.
And if they're lacking something, you know what I'm saying? And it's a problem.
I like
but
that. Exactly.
Yeah, as long as you're not lacking, you don't have any voice, and that's why I had to talk to my father. Like literally, I let that go for a long time. I let it go for too long. And I kept noticing it was coming up. So I would maybe speak to her.
I didn't like my granddad because my mom ain't like my granddad.
Yeah.
I only knew my granddad from me being 6 years old, and after that, I don't really know nothing about him. But I didn't like him because
your mom didn't like him. That's how it is sometimes.
And then hearing stuff from my family members, and even with my mom, things that she didn't care about him. Then here I am, like, oh yeah, my daddy. You throw him to the back burner. And it's happening in our community over and over and over.
That's why you have to be cautious as to what you really say about people sometimes. And I try my hardest to, because sometimes we are the villain in other people's story. I had to realize that.
Hey, if I'm the villain in your story, let me know so I can keep it going.
But no, we are the villain in some people's stories. So it's like, something that I had to understand and learn is that sometimes you might be, I think we had this conversation, he might not be a good father, but he might be a good person. And it's just like, okay, those are 2 different things, but at the same time, it doesn't make you a completely. I think we sometimes be like, oh, you're a bad person, and that's it. Like, you're just a bad person, and it's just like, wait, I'm a person, I know that. I know what you're talking about.
I don't do that no more. Like, now when I meet people who do stuff, I be like, you know what, James, he was a cool dude. We just don't rock. That's it.
And that's okay. Yeah. And that's okay, though.
Yeah. Everybody dope in their own way.
Exactly.
But they have to know that. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. When you don't know that, that's when you're out here and you're lost. Like, y'all watched the movie Soul. Of course, my son put me up on that. So it's like, that movie gives off everything that's happening.
I forgot.
I do not watch.
Well, that one, I don't watch TV either, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I only watch basketball games.
I'm really
Everybody
under a
that,
rock.
But
I'm really
I stopped watching TV. Huh?
I'm under a rock.
It's okay.
No, I love my little rock.
A lot of the stuff that's on TV is not what we need to be watching anyway.
Bingo.
Especially the damn news. The news just is full of negativity. People say, oh, I gotta see what's going on and if it's happening over here. When you protected and you know who you are and you know the power within yourself, you don't need to watch that to see what's going on, because you ain't even in that reality. You're supposed to be in this one right here.
Seriously.
See, when you watching the news, you putting yourself in that reality.
Exactly.
Now everything that you watching on the news, it's gonna come to fruition. Now you done brought all that shit into your reality because you watching it.
Hypnosis.
And that's just facts.
Right.
But
we ain't gonna get into the conspiracy theory about that TV, but one day we'll probably get into it on the Enlightened podcast.
Yeah, because that's our free place. Like, I got something to say about that TV, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Soul is that's definitely like really good representation, honestly, for the main topic here, accountability. Yep. I feel like that Soul was like the best one for that, because what was her name? What number was she?
She was the one that couldn't never find her purpose. She couldn't find
nothing to do. Yeah, I can't remember her name. We're gonna call her. We're gonna call her Angie.
But you don't know what that purpose is.
Yeah, we're gonna call her Angie this time, because I don't know her name. But Oh no, you know what? I think it was like number 72 because she was like one of the first souls or whatever to come out, and she just never for like millions of years. But anyway,
She never manifested.
she never came down to earth or whatever. But eventually, it took her to say, "Dang, I haven't really tried to do anything. All these years, like, I'm talking about millenniums," and it finally took her to say, and take accountability, like, "Hey, I never really tried, but since you got here, you made me do that, and now I found my purpose."
That's so true.
I honestly, that's my favorite part of accountability, when you're able to make somebody else do it. That's my favorite part, because then it's like, finally we here.
Yeah.
I see you and you see me. Like when you can make somebody like look at themselves and be like, dang, you know what, you was right, or not even you was right, I understand you. Because half the time I don't care about me being right or wrong, I just care about you understanding what it was that I felt.
Yeah.
That's it.
I do the same thing when I'm delivering, when I deliver messages, or even if I when I post in my story, or if I'm even talking or making any comments. It's more of, I want you to feel my presence. Like, you're gonna, if you didn't even understand anything I said, you didn't grasp anything that I posted, it's like you feel my presence. You're gonna say, Candace said that about 10 years ago. You know, and it's some things that I said like 10 to 15 years ago to either people, and I told Jay, I said I look back on my Instagram and I was literally still motivating people through all the miserable time that I was having in my life. I was very miserable. I was not happy. I wasn't happy with myself, and I was still motivating people. Everybody.
That's how it was for me too.
But I was in that dark corner, you know what I'm saying, to myself, like crying. Like, I don't have nobody to talk to. I can't vent to nobody. I can't tell nobody anything, but everybody poured into me. And just imagine all of that bad and negative energy I was getting poured into me, and I wasn't strong enough mentally
to say no,
to even release it, to tell them, no, I can't talk to you about that right now, or to even go into solitude. Like, I ain't know nothing about none of that. So imagine how many people today, they walking around with all their damn family shit just dumped on them. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the bag lady.
And I've been working on releasing my baggage, and I feel so great.
You want to hit a note right quick?
Bag lady, you gon' hurt your bag.
Yes.
Driving all them bags like that.
Hey.
I guess nobody ever told you. All you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. One day, all them bags gon' get in your way.
Hey.
Y'all can get us
That's what's
copyrighted. Sounded like her.
But did you understand that song a while ago when you first heard it?
Okay.
What
it's
was
so
your
funny.
Interpretation of
it's
that
so
song?
funny. Okay, I realized I'm having like rude awakenings now because I only grew up on Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, and D.R.E. Like, I've been a loner pretty much my entire life. So listening to Bag Lady now, and actually my nickname I wrote that in my poem. My nickname as a kid was Bag Lady because like. It really was, because I lived from house to house, so I had to carry like a lot of bags, and my parents used to hate me because I used to be like, this is the life of being a divorced child.
Oh man.
But within saying that, it's so odd because I'm like sitting up here listening to Bag Lady, and I'm like, oh crap, I actually did become the Bag Lady and didn't realize, I didn't see that I did become the Bag Lady. So listening to that song now, it's like, I don't know, I don't even want to be wanting to sing it.
It's probably gonna go over a few people's head.
It
that
did.
Song is gonna go over a lot of people's head.
It did. I thought she was actually talking about bags, but I was like 9. I was like 9. I was like, because I'm 19 now, so like hearing it at 18, I was like, oh.
Exactly.
I'm her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. You can go back now and look at a lot of songs. It's a lot of movies, a lot of everything. You know, I look at it and I'm saying, damn. Like Erykah Badu was trying to tell us.
It's so crazy because your favorite song is actually probably what's wrong with you.
What song?
Like usually.
Like, yeah, whatever your favorite
song is, like the reason why you cling to it so much is because there's something in there trying to tell you like, this is your problem, go fix it.
Yeah.
So like now, when I have random songs pop into my head, I go and listen to it because now it's like, okay, it's a message in there somewhere.
There's so many songs now that you could listen to and you just be like, I didn't even get it. Like sometimes.
You didn't even get it.
I recently just came to a point in my life where I'm like, actually, that's why I'm very sensitive to certain things I say now and certain music I listen to, because I'm like, no, I can't even sing certain songs anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's coming from you being more compassionate now for people.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that compassion for people, and it's like, it stretches so far. You know, that heart chakra open up, and it's like, boom, I'll be like, my heart's so big. Oh my God, Candace, like, it's too big for me.
But back to what you were saying about the whole solitude thing, I completely agree, because I told Ken, I said, like he was saying, like, go back to your Naya energy, and I was like, I can't, because that version that I was when I was doing that content, because I was still releasing content and being that's why I say, like, being that motivational person. I was doing that when I was in a sad place and nobody knew I was in a sad place, but I'm still bringing and motivating people, and that's something that was hurting me until I had to, like, look back and say, okay, I can't do this right now. I need to take a step back, and that's when I had to cut out a lot of people in my life. So I'm enjoying my solitude period.
Yeah, and people don't get a taste of that peace because they're not letting go. The worst thing you can keep on continuing to do is trying to control everything. So you trying to control your life. I'm talking about everything. It's just going to make it even harder for you. Even trying to control the people that you date, the people, even the stuff that you eat. It's like sometimes, you know, it's a lot of stuff. You're not in control of that.
Yeah, trying to change things. I'm a bad
Plant-based. We all plant-based.
Yeah, we all are. Oh, yeah.
Trying to change things that already are is so difficult. So it's like, it took me a minute because I'll admit it. Like, I used to be a control freak. I used to like things to go my way all the time, and when they didn't, it'd be a whole episode of, oh yeah, we in trouble now. Like now you got a problem, and half the time it was me. Like I realized, like, I can't control you. I can't control what this is finna do. I'm gonna just have to let it play out on its own, because at the end of the day, it's gonna do what it's gonna do, regardless. Especially if it's something that's, like, definite. Like, you can't change nothing.
I'm so proud of you. My son's smart, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
He's so smart. And I'm so happy to be able to do this, like, healing, doing it together. Like, literally, that's what I came home for.
And they're like swimwear. Quit playing.
Hey, I was like, why are we going back home? Why are we coming to Detroit?
I think we came back home for Grandma, though, because we came back home and, like, Grandma grew a lot.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. My mama was, that job.
Yeah.
She was at DMC. When I tell y'all, DMC was something else.
Like,
That hospital.
Grandma saved us, but ultimately, like, we saved Grandma. But then
Y'all
again, ultimately, we saved each other. Yeah, we all saved each other in the sense. Right. So it was like,
she's actually healing now.
Yeah.
She wasn't healing.
How has she been after
This a whole nother healing stage. Now
that's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, we on part 4 right now.
If you guys don't know, my mom's love of her life, he passed away on Monday, which was on the 28th, which was 2 days before her birthday. My mom's birthday was on Wednesday, 2 days later. So she literally spent her whole birthday week planning his funeral. That's a birthday she's never going to forget. So that's a whole nother healing stage that she's about to go through, but you know, we pouring into it.
Yeah, y'all got her.
We got her back.
I had to get her off the bed. I'm like, no, you're not about to stay in this bed all day. You got to get up. She's like, I gotta wash my butt. Yep, you got to get up. You got to eat. You got to do everything. She went to work on Friday. Nope, you got to get up. You got to go to work.
I do my best to make Grandma laugh. That's my job. I just go in there and start cracking jokes. She be busting out laughing. So that's what I do. You feel me? But gotta make sure Grandma good, so we could be good too.
Okay. Do you guys have any advice? Well, we're gonna start with Ken. Do you have any more advice or anything that you would want to say to you? What, 19? No, how old are you?
19.
You're 19. Oh, y'all, you're 19.
I'll be
young.
20 in January 15th.
Okay. Any advice that you want to give? I mean, pretty much to everybody that's pretty much watching, like, just about how simple it is to just change, unlearn things that we've been taught, you know, all our life, how your environment, how society and everything can program you, but starting on unprogramming those things. Like, what would you tell them to do first?
I just had a conversation like this earlier, I promise. But what I said was, I like to use metaphors a lot. See, I gotta bear with me. I speak in parable. So, a trash can
I'm in this trash can.
I'm telling you.
That's the
Seriously.
second time this trash can.
Your mind, right? We gonna compare your mind to a trash can.
Right.
If you putting in garbage in your trash can, it's going to seem like it's normal. It's going to become a normality to that extent.
Right.
Then we realize, okay, listen, the stuff that I'm doing, how is it benefit me? So I guess it would start with the awareness of what's going on. How's these things affecting me? Cause that's what it would start out with me. Like somebody brought awareness to a certain situation, and I was like, it made me think. Cause I've always been inquisitive. So number one, I'll start with the awareness, just knowing what's going on. What am I putting inside of what is my diet like? Right.
That's so important.
Because your diet is anything that you eat, anything
diet.
anything that you consume. You put in your mouth, you put in your ears. All that stuff plays a factor of what you perceive reality as.
Right.
So clean up your diet. It don't just start with eating. It start with thinking. I got a book coming out. It's called The Thought is the Cause of It All.
Yes, sir.
It's dropping on my birthday.
Both of y'all got books coming out, right?
So
Yep, and I want mine on my birthday too.
that's lit right there.
217 on the track.
Hey.
So just become aware, y'all. Just understand what's going on. It's not hard to. I'm gonna be honest. It is hard. It's hard to deviate from a certain thought pattern that you was used to. But the whole thing is it has to stop. But it starts with you bringing awareness to what's going on. Then once you empty out that trash can of things that wouldn't help you, you then start to implement stuff that is helping you, that's helping you grow, that's helping you heal, that's helping you learn, that's helping you develop. I give y'all 6 things that help y'all. It's like it's called a life bucket, right? It's called CRIPES. It's an acronym. Career. These are 6 ways you're gonna develop yourself. Career, relationship, intellectual, personal development, emotional, spiritual.
Hey.
6 things. That is the basics of the 6 buckets of life. If you fill those 6 buckets up and work on those 6 buckets, you will become a different person.
Right.
Regeneration. So that's my piece. That's what I'm thinking to. Continue to change ourselves, man. Develop yourselves daily, so then you can develop those around you, because they start to looking at you like, man, you a different person, Jalen. And they ain't talking about the mustache. They talking about your character.
Yep.
He's saying it because I just shaved my face, y'all.
And you look like a fine brother from the 90s.
He said from
Much
the
appreciated.
90s.
Sis. Much appreciated.
All right, Khadijah Boo.
Hi. What am I saying?
Talk to me.
Oh, what am I saying?
What's your advice?
Oh. I would say royalties. I just like to say royalties.
Hello, my kings, queens, and royalties.
You
You gotta say it.
You gotta
first.
say it.
I gotta say it. Okay. Hello, my beautiful kings, queens, and royalties. The advice for today is progress. It's not going to be overnight. Truth be told, I think that's what a lot of us think. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be something that's going to take 6 months. Stop trying to put a time on it. That's what I'm going to say. As long as you become, recognize, I'm trying to change. I'm trying to be better for not even others, but for myself. Stop living for others as well, because sometimes you might be wanting to heal or get better to be better for others instead of yourself. And if you keep doing it, following that path, you're not going to get to the healing for yourself because you're consistently living for other people. So, yeah, that's something I had to learn over a period of time. So when it comes to you, give yourself baby steps and track your progress. I think sometimes it's so easy to sit up here and say, oh, I didn't do this, but you did that. You did that, and you did that. So what now? That's like, it's a ratio, okay? 5 to 1. You're going to sit up here and bash yourself because you didn't do that one thing, but you did 5 other things.
That's right.
Give yourself progress and give yourself rewards for how far you have come. Because if you look back at yourself 6 months ago, a year ago, you on a whole different, you on a whole different energy. So to be able to give yourself that progress and honor every single version of you and appreciate every single version of you.
That's right.
So that's my advice.
I feel that.
I appreciate you for that. I think that was the message for me today.
Thank you.
I needed to hear that one.
Thank you. It's something I'm actually I like my messages because it's actually things that I be going through. Like this is what I'm learning right now.
For the messenger.
What you think about when you're doing? I'm talking to ourselves. That's what you're
doing. That's all, and that's why I love content creating.
Yeah, everybody is
talking,
you, and you are
talking
them.
to yourself. Yeah, that's it. All right, son.
Y'all know my favorite advice. Let go. Stop trying to control everything. You have no control over, like, you are a co-creator in this reality, yes. Like, you can move certain pieces in your life, but the bigger pieces you have to allow the universe to do what it's doing. The universe, the gods, the spirits, the ancestors, whoever it is that you trust or believe and have your faith in, understand that y'all work together, but you can only do so much. You gotta move the smaller pieces so that they can bring the big pieces in. So lose that control. Stop trying to control your life. It's gonna be hard, and you're gonna fall every time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You're gonna fall every time trying to control your life.
Y'all hear that from the younger generation, y'all. I love it. Y'all make sure y'all like, y'all share,
Comment, and
y'all
subscribe.
comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all kids. I ain't do too much cussing.
I don't think we
Because I was
cussed at
gonna
all.
say I don't think about.
I'm so proud of myself. I said
kids
sugar,
trying
honey,
to watch
iced
the
tea.
little
Yeah, I don't
kids.
think we cussed at all, but
You know, ones that's old enough. I know I did.
hey y'all, check us out. So
Yeah, we're gonna do that
What
too.
is it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
she gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh, right now.
You can.
Oh,
wait, one more thing before you get your poem right quick. So, stay tuned because we are going to have a podcast. We don't know what we're going to call it yet, but stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram. I am at Ambrose J. That's AMBROSEJAEE. And I will be keeping y'all posted whenever we have a new development on our podcast and stuff like that.
these are cameras, right?
Yeah.
That's for
Khadijah.
YouTube. Yeah, that's for YouTube. And then go ahead and leave your Instagram, Katie, where they can follow you at. Y'all make sure y'all follow this beauty. She be just doing everything. She exercise. She do positive affirmations every day. She's in nature. She's just being her beautiful self. So
Thank you.
Very inspiring.
Thank
of course.
you. Thank you, baby. Thank you. What am I supposed to be doing? Affirmations or a poem?
Whatever you want to do.
I like
Saving one life at a time today.
Yeah.
I think I saved about 7 of them.
You got 7.
Yeah, specifically because 7 is my favorite number.
I'm
So.
gonna say 8 for me.
I can't decide. What are we doing? Affirmations or a poem?
Well, you sent the point. Why you can't do both?
Y'all always say that, and I'm like, right, that is something that can't happen. Oh my goodness.
What was that?
I don't
And
know.
just me, y'all make sure talking to my IG people that's also watching my live, and I'm also talking on YouTube as well. But make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Candy_Love Lifting, which is the one I'm on live with now. Also go over to my Purple Lotus Flowers 888 YouTube. Make sure you follow it. It's Purple Lotus Flower 888. Oh, Jesus. Oh, and I'm on TikTok. Purple Lotus Flower 888. And on Facebook. Same thing. Candace
There's like
Parker.
10 different pages, y'all. Keep up.
Every platform, but the end all be all is that is Purple Lotus Flower 888 on every platform.
And I also bake, which y'all know. So you can also follow my
and they're great
page at Cream Treats.
And I'm addicted.
4201.
And that sweet potato pie, baby.
Go ahead, get right.
Go ahead, get you some cookies. Get you some cookies.
Unfortunately for y'all don't get to taste all the good stuff every day. Unlike me, cause
Okay, for starters, I'm your neighbor, so why am I not included in this too?
You're not telling me when mama cooking? Every time I'm cooking something,
why not?
What you do, Jay, when I'm
I
cooking?
share my food with you.
I come and sit in the kitchen.
He do.
I come and sit in the kitchen.
But as I'm done
everything.
cooking, this is what after he takes it, he be...
I don't know for sure if we can say what he gonna say, but
I can't say what I say around y'all.
He be sitting there like, wait, about to have a damn seizure sitting over here. This shit, he be jumping and all this stuff. I said,
because it's cooked with love. That's all
Absolutely.
it is. And when you realize the beauty of cooking, that it's all just energy, as it doesn't even have anything to do with anything.
Don't have anything to do with it. That's why I said when my baking school, yes, my baking school is coming.
Ooh.
I am going to teach my kids how to cook with love.
With love.
And women, you know what? I think I'm gonna have some women join too, because women, especially starting from I'd say about 14. They're about 14 and a little bit older than that. They need to know how to cook. Like, you know, we got men out here got these wives and stuff, and they don't even know how to cook. You be like, come on,
the men need to know how to cook too.
Man, so I'm gonna have males.
That's why I'm
and
always in the
females
kitchen
too.
though. No, I'm not always in the kitchen because I'm hungry. I mean, that's the main part. But I be in there. I be in there because I be learning how to cook at the same time.
Yeah,
and first things first, you gotta meditate before we start cooking. So I need you to meditate, get into your heart space. You can push everything. Everything is love when it's coming. That's why it tastes like that.
Right.
So when you taste it, have you ever like, what was that I made? I think I made.
I don't know, cause it always
some
good.
chili.
So.
It was something like that. But when I taste it,
so usually I'm the one who picks the food in the house. Like I usually pick what to eat, and Mama just cook it. So I had this idea because I had like it was getting cold. It was getting cold outside, and I wanted some chili, but I also wanted some seafood.
Yeah,
so
this one was eating meat.
I was like, let's make some seafood chili. Never made it before. Never heard of it before. Made it. It was the most like that was if I could have.
What type of seafood?
It was shrimp.
I had put shrimp, crab in there.
Yeah.
I put lobster in there.
And it was chili with crackers, like a regular chili bowl, but it had seafood. So it was almost like a gumbo, but a chili taste to it with
corn
seafood.
in there. It was everything. And literally, like, my mom, she tasted, she was like, but it was me. It was the fact when I sat down in the chair and it was like I tasted, I felt it just going down my body. I was like, oh my God, I'm talking about chills, everything, hands, my hair standing up on top. I said, damn. That was all love,
I'm thinking about what you said.
Yeah, and then my mom, I ended up cooking like 2 big old crock pots of it for her birthday party, like a month later or something. It was that was the most popular thing in the party. It's like, I want some more of that, and it was gone.
Don't hear patting that though.
Yeah. And then when I don't eat meat no more, it's like I don't even eat it no more.
It was literally like 2 weeks after that we stopped eating meat because we made that for Grandma's birthday on December 5th, and then like the 21st of December we was like, that's it.
Yeah, stop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I still make chili, it's just vegan. It be so good though.
No, I just had some vegetarian chili cheese fries. Oh, that. Food. I'm not that big of a food person. I wish I was, but I've been trying to get more involved with food, and I'm just like, enjoy it.
I'm glad too that you guys are plant-based. Everybody's not going to understand that, being plant-based, vegetarian, vegan, whatever route that you're taking. A lot of people don't really understand that, once again, because that's something that we've been programmed to do. So all your life you've been eating meat. You know, your grandma, your granddaddy, everybody been cooking meat, pork, all of this stuff for so long, so you already normalized it in your mind that this is what we supposed to be eating.
Right.
And people don't, you look back and you pay attention to family history. So people say, oh, I have high blood pressure because my dad had high blood pressure. And I was one of them. I used to say that too, like, oh, I got high blood pressure because my father got it, or this and that and the other. And it's not even that. It's more because you're all eating the same thing in the household. Really,
the only thing that's
so
supposed
if your grandma cooking it, and then your mama eating it, then your mama cooking it for you, and that's how it's getting passed on. It's more of that, because my father had diabetes, blood pressure, all this other stuff that was told to him that he had due to his diet. But when I stopped and I changed my diet, everything went to a halt. So it's just that, you know, and your health is your wealth. Like, if you're not healthy enough, how you gonna make some money? And it's just like your time is your currency. You know, if you're spending your time on dumb shit and it's toxic behavior and dumb environments, then now you wasting time on getting your money, you know, and planning your goals and your visions and whatever else that you do have. So we have to be careful with all of that. Your time and your health, both of those are very, very important.
I definitely heard Uncle Jamel come through. When you said dumb, that was Uncle Jamel coming through on that one, because he be saying that.
So people can say what they want about people that don't eat meat or whatever the case may be. When I tell you it was the best thing that I've ever did in my life, I'm literally, let me show y'all something. Y'all see my hair though? I ain't trying to be, you know, conceited or anything like that, but my hair, do y'all see my skin? Like,
this every time though.
It's pretty. Okay, I'm totally glowing over here in these streets because I'm not eating none of that stuff. It's like my figure, you know, my shape is everything, and then I feel so much younger. You know what I mean? It's like my body running like an 18-year-old. I don't know about y'all, and I'm 38 years old. People saying, "Oh, that look like that's your brother."
Here we go.
Okay. You know,
I don't know. I be getting scared to eat meat. I don't know how people eat meat no more.
At this point, and all of this stuff,
at this point, I'm just like, people go like, how do you stay healthy? I'm like, at this point, I'm stuck. I don't have a choice anymore. My body said, if you put that in me, I will put you down. I said, okay.
Yeah.
It really
And
does.
this is not to judge anybody.
No,
'cause
really
this
though.
definitely ain't
We
for
were
that.
talking
People
about
be like,
that. I
I can't
couldn't
eat salty
What?
food. I can't eat sugary food. Like if
Oh,
I eat
yeah.
a cookie,
French
I'ma feel it.
fries. I went to a spot. I can't eat Kool-Aid. I can't eat a honey
You be
bun.
eating
You
Kool-Aid?
eating
That's
Kool-Aid?
cool.
No, I can't drink Kool-Aid. My bad. I can't drink Kool-Aid. I can't eat like certain fries. I really can't even eat out in public now. Like
Yeah.
if I'm not at a restaurant that's like
Yeah. like a
plant-based,
vegan
or
spot.
if I'm not at a restaurant.
Candace like the hardest thing, though, no cap.
Yeah.
No, but I get it though, because
No, I
even
know, I
when
do
we
too.
ate with Ken, some of those places, I was messed up even off of the pizza that we had.
That pizza that we had with that vegan pizza,
Yeah.
I was like, that.
You know, your body start rejecting that stuff.
Your
that
body will be
sugar,
like,
you know, that
get
salt
this
and all
out of
that.
me.
You
Yeah.
start feeling them like.
And I need people to pay attention to that. Like, pay attention to your body. Your body telling you everything. And we don't pay attention to that. So if your
Fruits be
stomach
so
all
good.
bloated and you ain't went to the bathroom in a few days and you ain't did this and did that, pay attention to what you putting in your body. So of course, it's a lot of the pork, a lot of the chicken, and a lot of the fish and all of that stuff. It has so much sodium in there.
It does.
And you're risking getting edema, building up fluids in your body, you know, and
You
then
gonna
with
hurt
dairy
yourself.
products, I stopped eating eggs and stuff like that due to those having hormones in there. And I noticed when I stopped eating eggs, and this is not TMI, but just for women, period, it will change your cycle. It changed your menstrual cycle to lighter days. You know, it's not so
That's
much pain
true.
anymore.
I
Like I used to cramp so bad, and I had all these different. I was very heavy. Now it's like it's light and it's very easier. Now.
That's true, because my cycle, now I still consume dairy. I consume dairy and I consume seafood. But my cycle, I was sitting up here like, I don't go on for 7 days anymore. I'm
Yeah,
only
it
on
used to
for
be
like
10.
5. Yeah, no,
So you
especially
doing
because
good.
after you had a child, typically it went to 10, right? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So but now
Hey,
mine.
hey, don't blame me.
Oh,
No,
your fault.
that's
It's your
just
fault.
no. It
I did
really,
not ask to come here.
no, it really is. That's just how all women are. Typically,
get
like
tripped.
once women have children, like a lot of things in their body completely
Yeah.
changes.
They do.
But when it comes to my menstrual cycle, I had to realize I'm only 5 days now. I used to always be like 7 days. And so that was odd for me.
Even think about birth control. Birth control too for
Oh.
women as well. You know,
Please
with
be
us, we have
careful.
to pay attention to that stuff. That's another thing. We're coming up and we're being exposed to birth control and all of this stuff that has hormones is in there. And it's like I've had so many different birth controls and they just totally did my body wrong. Like I was
Facts.
taking them, I was getting fat. I ended up, my hair was falling out. Like when I took pills and all of that stuff like that. So it's like naturally, we don't even supposed to be taking all of that stuff.
Nope.
We are here to recreate. You know what I'm saying? And produce babies and have
That's right.
families and this and that and other. We got to get back to that. So
Right.
some along the way, we lost that. And by us losing that, it's causing a disconnect. And
That's right.
disconnecting our community, disconnecting our relationship, especially our community. I'm only speaking for us. I can't speak for nobody, else. But I do know we have to heal. And it starts there. It was a young lady on one of my homeboys' podcasts, I'll say, about I don't know. Be quiet. It was a young lady on a podcast like a couple weeks, maybe it was a while ago. But I listened to it, and he asked her, how do she heal or how do she get over her relationship and move on to the next one? And she said something that just kind of threw me for a loop. She said, oh, you just go get up under another one.
Oh, I remember. I know what you're talking about. You showed me
And
that
I was
video.
like,
Yeah.
you are literally telling women to, when you break up with him, go get up on another one, and then you'll get over that one. That is the
Same person.
worst
thing you can
information
do.
that you could give to a woman, even with our younger girls. Like, that shouldn't even be told. And the things that was told to me as a teenager and young as well put me in situations that I did not want to be in. Like, that was putting me into people's arms and men arms that I ain't had no business even dealing with, period, because I wasn't taught to heal. It was more like, no, that's how you gonna get over it. What they say, women come a dime a dozen and this and that and another.
Right.
That stuff is, those are bad things.
And to
that shouldn't be
piggyback
told.
off of what you just said, this is actually like my first year of actually not like doing anything with anybody. Like I've been, yeah, I haven't done anything at all. Thank you. I officially,
With your mama.
I officially reached the year, you guys. So I'm very proud of myself. But I've been 3 years single, 1 year without like dating or dealing with anybody. Within saying that, women, if you ever feel like you have to go get under somebody else and you can't be satisfied or fulfilled by your own peace, you gotta be alone for a bit. Like, I see so many women, we typically will be like, okay, he hurt my feelings. It's so, but I get it. It's very easy to rebound. It is very easy to rebound.
It is.
So, but it's complicated to actually sit down with yourself and say, I am the problem. I am the person who keeps causing this to happen. Because if it keeps happening again and again and again, who's the problem? The people that you're attracting, or you? Because you keep attracting them for some odd reason.
Same person.
So, yeah,
It is,
don't.
it's the same person.
It's literally the same person, different face.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ask people that question.
That's where my poem comes from, called Deja Vu.
Yes. You have definitely you hit on that. That was my problem.
Hey, Katie.
And that was me still
hey,
attracting the
Hey, Katie. Is it time for some affirmation?
It's time for some affirmations.
I want to hear some
Let
affirmations
me hear.
today.
Let
Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to
Let me
me.
hear you. Beautiful.
You're doing all this sexiness over
No,
here.
I love the sexy talk. You gotta have the sexy talk.
Guys that had a sexy talk.
You have to.
Smooth Jack.
I smooth Jay. Nah, Jalen is honestly one of the smoothest guys I've ever met. Don't play with him.
He got that from his mama. Quit playing.
Hey, hold on. I got my own game. You feel me? I got my own game. Relax. I
Don't
mean,
play
I
with
give
him.
you some credit.
Okay.
Maybe like 2%.
That face, that whole
I ain't
face
gonna lie.
card, me,
Yeah,
bro.
the face card is I definitely got you. I definitely got the face. From you.
I
That's
haven't
for sure.
written any affirmations recently that relate to me besides the ones that's in my personal journal. I didn't bring that, but I'm gonna say this little poem real quick. Y'all, it kind of starts off inappropriate, not in a bad way, but like
Somebody tell me
spiritual
why I'm putting my
inappropriate.
ear up to the microphone.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna start it. We gonna be
Hope y'all can
sensual.
hear her.
Cool.
Say it as loud as you can.
I gotta speak low. It gotta
I
be.
need my people to hear you on here too.
Oh crap! Can we move the camera closer? Cause it gotta be like sensual. It's gotta be like baby.
Well, you know what? If y'all do want to tune back in, if y'all can't hear her right now do her poem, of course y'all can go ahead and go over to my YouTube station.
Yeah.
And we live on there as well, so you'll be able to actually hear the whole poem, or you can always go back and rewatch it.
I'm still in the process of doing this poem, so this is
Okay.
as we like to say. Can y'all new
Oh shit! New shit.
the energy low? One more again.
I mean, well, we can't. I didn't know
You
it
can
was okay. New shit.
Thank you. Okay, I want to feel your body against mine as we breathe in each other's breath. Asking of you to protect my world, knowing that I don't let nobody come into this world to see the reality. Hold me tight, reminding me of how much of a beautiful star that I am. Stare into my soul, seeing the truth of how much of a beautiful soul that I am. Believe in me. Watch me flourish. Watch our laughter make sparkles in the air as if they were fireflies. That's it for right now. I'm still in the process of this. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
I'm trying to give y'all some positive affirmations. Y'all might want to record these.
Please
Write
do.
them down.
Also, just a quick thing that I'm actually about to start doing myself. I just learned from I don't know if KD told me this or whoever told me this, but record yourself talking or speaking the affirmations and go to sleep to them.
Oh, yes, that was me.
Sleep to your own voice of your own affirmations. So I want to start doing that soon too.
Because it will go into your subconscious mind.
Feed it.
Please
that
do.
subconscious mind do not sleep. It
People,
is constantly going.
We could do a whole
people,
podcast on the
people,
Oh, yeah,
please
for
make
sure.
sure to rest as well. Because if you do not allow your body to rest, you cannot recollect.
Yeah,
So,
gotta get some sleep.
within saying that, these are some affirmations that I said at a poetry night, but I think since we were talking about accountability and healing, let's say it. So
Okay.
y'all repeating after me, right?
Absolutely.
I will get to know myself
I will get to know myself
deeper.
deeper.
Hey, Q.
Oh, Q, you included.
Q,
Look.
you included. You in the room.
I don't talk.
That's
I
okay.
ain't talking.
That's okay. They're not gonna hear you talking. But the point is,
He
you
just whispered to himself over there.
gonna say it though.
Yeah, he whispered to himself.
Okay. Cause, all right. I'm gonna say it again. I will get to know myself
I will get to know myself.
I'm saying it in my head.
You guys say it out loud, speaking into existence.
Girl.
Okay. So that I will heal.
So that
So
I will heal.
I'm stopping this cycle of pain.
I'm
Stopping the cycle of pain.
My healing journey is personal.
My healing journey is personal.
It's me versus me.
It's me versus me.
Always me versus me.
Always me versus me.
I am tired of my own shit.
I'm tired of my own shit.
The peace that I find within my journey
The peace that I find within my journey
makes all those lonely nights
makes all those lonely nights
worth it.
worth it.
I forgive myself
I forgive myself
for being the villain
for being the villain
in some people's story.
in some people's story.
If I didn't go through the pain,
If I didn't go through the pain,
I would have never learned.
I would have never learned.
I say.
Hey, Ashe. I
I'm
love
a
that.
ride.
That's definitely the truth. I tell people you gotta go through that pain.
And sometimes
you gotta
not-
go through the pain so that you can feel it.
Now that I'm aware of the pain, sometimes I really just get excited now. I'd be like, oh, okay, we're going through something bad. All right, let's see what we're going to do now. Let's see what we about to come out of this. How we about to come out of
That's
this.
it, though. That's the energy.
Yeah. Every time you become more knowledgeable, you learn those lessons, you just elevate to the next level. And definitely it's gonna be some stuff left behind, some people left behind, some things you're gonna have to leave behind, but you just have to be okay with that because you protect it. And now I'm at the point after going through the journey that I've been through, I trust myself to make the right decisions now. You'll be able to trust yourself more. So even the people that's around you that don't trust you, they don't need to be around you. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I need you to be able to trust me. Because somebody that don't trust you, you're going to have a problem. Especially if they're around in your circle. So we all need to be able, but number one, trust yourself. To just make the right judgment calls and all of that stuff. Still, coming from chess, same thing.
That's right.
You got to make the right moves. And you have to delegate people in different places in your life.
Delegation.
And know exactly where they belong at.
That's right.
Because everybody just don't belong so close to you. So I do have a lot of people that I have lost. It's a lot of family members that I just don't talk to at all. You know, and it doesn't have anything to do with me not loving them. I just have to love you from afar because the place that I'm going and the journey that I'm going on, it just doesn't involve you right now.
James, you cool,
So
but we don't
I'll
rock.
be able to come back, you know what I'm saying, and get strong. I don't know what he's talking about.
No, remember that was my example earlier when I was
What's
saying
that?
like, James, you cool, but we don't rock.
Oh, yeah, we don't rock. Yeah. He's just making up something.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, because I actually know a person named James. So I'm like, hold on.
So the journey that you guys are going to be going on, you just make sure you're able to come back. And it'll come back 360. And that's one thing that I do understand, that those people that I did stop talking to, they're going to come back around eventually. And we'll be able to connect on a deeper level because at the time that I'm going through this, they just may not, it ain't their time yet. And that's all it is. And they have to understand that. Just like I have to understand that, because if I'm standing up in this chair and I have to keep reaching down and I have to keep pulling you up with me, it's taking more energy for me to do that than to just let you go and allow you to go through your cycle. That's why I say we can't play God, because when you're trying to play God, you're interfering with their lesson. They got to go through a lesson just like I had to go through my lesson. Couldn't nobody step in front of me, because if y'all did, or anybody would have stepped in front of me, I wouldn't be able to sit here right now and still be able to tell you and talk to you about the experience. So that conference call that I had, you know what I'm saying, on God within myself, it was for me. It wasn't for nobody else. So nobody's going to understand my journey at all right now but me, and that's the most important part, you know.
Because it's your reality.
Yeah, it's my reality and it's my journey.
You're the only person that you have to deal with for the rest of your life, so stop caring about everybody else.
Yeah. So it's
Well,
not
for you,
for
because you don't have to deal with me until I'm gone.
You good.
So
I know my phone been dry, of course, and it's dry like that because, you know, it's like I just can't allow that anymore. So you can't call me and dump and vent your problems on me anymore. Those days are over with. I was intaking all of that stuff, and then I wasn't releasing it. So I get to the point where if you told me something that happened to you, I'm taking it and I'm holding on to it. But that's stopping me from my growth too, because I'm taking your shit and my shit. So we have to be okay with not talking to each other every day, all day, not calling each other with toxic information. Call me sometimes and tell me what you did good, like what you got going on, like, you know, you just open up a business or, you know, something positive. Other than that, I'm not going to take those phone calls.
Right.
You know?
I shade to that.
So it's just, and that's just what it is. So call it how you want to. So, thank you so much for you guys coming on, being transparent, being open and honest about y'all feelings. I am going to try to do some type of, I think I can do like a subscription, I think on here, where I can either have women to come into a room and they're going to be able to talk, you know, in a sacred space. So that's what I want to give. I also want to give that to men as well. So if I get an opportunity to do that, I want men to be able to come in and talk, because I have a lot of male friends, of course, and they already know they can call me and I'm going to drop them gems on them, you know, quickly. And that's also a good thing coming from me, because I experienced a lot of things that they're experiencing with their women or with their wives or whatever. I've been there already. So I'm able to kind of tell them how to maneuver, you know, and do different things and work it out, you know, in different ways. And the same thing with women.
So,
yeah.
Khadijah,
I mean, you're supposed to be able to do that.
I remember that when she was my coach. Kind of like you go, like you in the game, you head back out, like, coach, what's the play?
Yep. And she
I'm
gonna
going back out there.
And that's the power that women have to understand. We hold that. We are so powerful as women, you know, and you have to tap into that so you know how to help somebody. Because it's like you teach a woman, you're going to teach the whole damn nation. Everybody is going to understand. You're going to feel my presence. So that's the whole, I'm sorry. I guess I done messed around and then it went off live again. I ain't about to worry about that.
You teach a woman, you teach a nation.
But, that's important this year a little bit. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I can't wait until you guys start your podcast. I'm going to be all in. Y'all make sure y'all have me as a guest on there.
Oh, absolutely.
So I can come on. Any last minute questions for anybody? Q, you good?
What we finna eat?
That was my question. You must have picked up on that thought.
More than likely.
All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Purple Lotus Flower. I know I've been gone for about a month, but I just had to gain a little bit of clarity. I was learning some things.
Take your break.
I got some lessons and stuff. I had to pour back into myself and get stronger mentally. You always have to be strong mentally in order to move forward in anything that you do. So I'm just gaining more knowledge so I can help more people. So y'all just keep on looking. Book coming out next year.
That's right.
Whole lot of other stuff coming out.
That's
just keep on looking and keep on watching.
Stay tuned for 217 though.
Hey.
217.
That's a powerful birthday.
217. That's gonna be a good day right there. Let's believe.
All right. Well, y'all, peace out. Y'all have a good one. Love y'all so
much
much.
love. Peace to the gods. Much love. Much peace.
Bye, Rarity.
Q, we out.
Yep.
Thank you.
That was fire.
It was.
That was dope.
Dang, that was like